What's up, sluts? How's everybody doing today? I want to start off with a huge apology. We've been promoting the shit out of today's podcast all weekend, that there's going to be 4 of us here today. And unfortunately, last minute, we had to pivot. We had to call an audible. And unfortunately, Greg Moog is not going to be here with us today. He wasn't directly exposed to COVID, but he had a possible exposure. So we're just playing it safe. And we're just going to roll with me, Ian, and Wally today. Also, before we get to the official sponsors, I want to give a huge shout out to our unofficial sponsor, Fulton Brewing. So here's what happened. On our last podcast, Greg Erickson, former drummer for After the Burial, Gallows Bird, and current drummer, oh my God, he's going to fucking kill me because I can't remember their band name. Cobra Czar, right? No. Oh my God, I'm such an asshole. I can't remember their fucking band name off the top of my head. This is what happens when you have 0 sleep over the course of fucking 48 hours. But basically, Greg works at Fulton, and he brought a bunch of beer for the last podcast, and I still have, like, pretty much all of it. So this podcast is also going to unofficially be sponsored by Fulton Brewing. We want to turn that into an official sponsorship. So somebody needs to hit up Fulton for me. I need all of you guys to start emailing Fulton and tell them to sponsor my podcast. All we want is enough beer to drink on every episode. All right, let's get to the sponsorships. This episode of the let's start that over. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Werner Elements. We are your partner in growth. You need a website, you guys, social media, and some way to break out from the crowd in order to represent yourself these days. I fucked that one up. Let's start this again. Okay. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Werner Elements, your partner in growth. You need a website, social media, and the way to best represent yourself these days in order to break out from the crowd. We can help you do that, whether you're just starting a business, whether you're an artist, whether you're a podcaster or comedian trying to showcase your talents or get the buzz going, doesn't matter. We offer websites starting as low as $400. And we also offer weekly, monthly, or 6-month social media management packages. Let your business work for you. Mention promo code SINGER and get 10% off your first contract with us. Now, we do offer free consultations, so you're still going to get a free consultation. We'll put a number together. We'll get you a quote on what you're looking for, customized for your small business, and you can save 10% off if you use the code SINGER at checkout. Werner Elements, we are your one-stop shop for all your creative needs. Go to wernerelements.com. That's WERNER elements.com. Werner Elements, yes, we can do that. This episode of the podcast is also sponsored by, you guessed it, Shooter Lube. Come on, guys, you've seen that coming. You're not even surprised. Don't even act like you're surprised. Shooter Lube, America's best gun care system. It is not sex stuff, so keep it away from all your sex holes. First stage is the military-grade cleaning solvent. Our new technology has you cleaning your gun better than ever. Our solvent is designed to penetrate deep into the metal, cleaning carbon buildup in less time than other leading solvents. You can feel good knowing that you're cleaning your firearms with a product that passed military testing. Your firearm maintenance should not be banished to the garage or outside because of harsh chemicals and smells that other solvents use. No, Shooter Lube military-grade weapons cleaning solvent is simply the best. It's odorless. There's no water. It fully evaporates, leaves no residue. There's no hazard ingredients per the EPA. Has a high flash point, non-corrosive. It does not freeze, and it's non-flammable. For stage 2, you got the Extreme Weapons Oil. Standard gun lubricants and CLPs, guys, that shit's outdated and a thing of the past. With the Shooter Lube Extreme Weapons Oil, the new cutting-edge technology has developed a new level of gun lubrication and protection. Unlike many other gun oils that just sit there on the surface, the Extreme Weapons Oil penetrates deep into the pores of the metal. It forms a bond on and in the metal that does not wipe off, wear off, melt, or evaporate with heavy use. You can feel confident using your weapon to its fullest fucking potential, bitches, knowing that it's fully protected from wear and corrosion. It's biodegradable, non-flammable, non-toxic, 100% synthetic. I'm Mike Tyson. It's got low odor, it's non-staining, offers rust and corrosion protection, and it reduces wear and friction. Also, Shooter Lube is offering free shipping in the United States on all orders over $35. And right now they have a special going on for $39 and some change. You get a t-shirt and the whole Shooter Lube kit. And they also offer 100% money back satisfaction guarantee. So join the revolution and go to shooterlube.com and save 10% at checkout by using the promo code SINGER. Also, guys, if you haven't already, please slap that thumbs up button, smack the subscribe button, and punch that notification bell like it owes you money. That way you know when we post new content, and it also helps the channel a ton. If you're listening on just the audio side of things, on any of the streaming platforms, please hit follow or subscribe, as well as leave a 5-star review on iTunes. It really does help the podcast grow. And if you're feeling extra frisky, you can subscribe to our Patreon by going to patreon.com/JaredSingerLive and joining for as low as $2.99 a month. The $2.99 a month thing, here's what that is for you guys. That is just general support. That allows us to maintain equipment, upgrade equipment. I got plans to get better lights, better cameras, better microphones. We're also trying to put together travel budgets. I'm trying to go to Texas soon so I can put out a bunch of podcasts with a bunch of NFL players or former NFL players. Got another one planned where we're going to L.A. to interview a bunch of big-time bands. So please, you guys, make sure that you do that so we can continue to grow and we don't suddenly get stagnated if some shit accidentally breaks down. All right, that's all we got for sponsors and announcements and all that kind of bullshit. So today's guest is Ian Severson. I think I said that right. I even asked him. If I fuck that up now, I'm just an asshole. Ian Severson used to play guitar for a band called Gingerjake here in the Twin Cities. They were a very big band. They were one of those bands that was kind of being shopped around, almost got the big record deal back in the day, all that kind of good shit. He left that band when that band broke up. He was in another act for a while called Future Leaders of the World, and now he has a music company. I believe it's, the way I would describe it is, it's a production company, studio, all that kind of shit, called Beat Devil Music. And he recorded a compilation album called the Chocolate Shotgun Sessions with a bunch of different vocalists from around the country, which is hilarious because this is something literally almost every guitar player in Minneapolis has talked about doing for literally 20 years. As long as I've been in the industry, people have talked about doing this, and no one's ever fucking done it. Not once. Except for now. Ian Severson finally did it. He's here to share with us his new album. Make sure you guys check that out. The links, everything's in the description. Also with us today is Wally Joseph, and unfortunately, Greg Moog died this morning. I'm just kidding. He didn't die. He just caught AIDS. I'm kidding. He didn't catch AIDS either. He possibly, maybe, was indirectly exposed to corona. That's why he's not here today. So without further ado, please welcome to the show, Ian Severson. Wally is running late because he is fat. Wally's running late because he is fucking fat.
PH.
He couldn't get out the door fast enough. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man.
Thanks for doing this, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I'm doing well, and I am so excited to have you here, dude. Like, it's so cool that you were able to make time for this coming in from out of town, and we were able to time it up with you got some music being released, and fucking, I'm pretty stoked for this, dude. But seriously, Wally's supposed to be here, but he's fat. And Greg Moog is also supposed to be here, but he had a indirect COVID exposure. So somebody he knows was exposed. And so we're just playing it safe. We're going to give him a call here in a little bit once Wally gets his chunky little butt in this chair. This is what he gets. This is what he gets for being late. You get shit talked out about you.
Cross of being a lead singer and, having a little winter weight still.
Nah, he's great. I love him. He's been on the podcast multiple times. But for people that don't know, just real quick, explain to them who you are and what you do. A lot of people are going to know, obviously, but I do have a lot of people that aren't part of our little crew. So
right on. So I'm originally from Minneapolis. Been living in New Orleans the last 10 years, but I guess kind of cut my teeth in the Twin Cities music scene, rock, metal, probably in the mid 90s, and went through playing in a series of bands, and then the band Gingerjake that I was in got a little bit of success, and that snowballed into Future Leaders of the World and how I migrated down to New Orleans. So, and obviously I still have family here, so it's good to be back.
So what are you up to right now? I mean, you obviously have new music, but for the listeners that don't know.
Yeah. So after Future Leaders of the World put out our last record in 2015, I ended up going back to graduate school for a little while at UNO, worked on a master's degree, but I just couldn't get the music bug out of my system. You know?
Like University of New Orleans?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
You don't pronounce it Uno?
Uno. UNO.
I'm
Uno.
just fucking around. Go ahead.
Yeah. They're no LSU, whatever, football. But
who is?
Right. That's certainly not the Gophers. No.
Hey, we're getting better, man.
Yeah, this is true.
Slowly.
It's a nice arena, nice stadium. But no, so went back to school, still had the music bug, and it's therapeutic for me to play music. So, and I'm always just writing riffs.
You went to school for music production?
No, not really.
What'd you go to school for?
So I went to school for a master's degree in urban and regional planning.
Oh, that's right. You did
things.
mention that.
Yeah.
That's fucking intense.
Yeah, I mean, I went to Hamlin back in the day and had an urban studies degree, and that was kind of like a precursor to that type of master's degree. So,
I wanna get more in depth on the music stuff, but that's super interesting. So, you said you had the first thing it was urban studies.
Yeah, so social sciences.
So what does that actually mean?
What does,
like, in a practical sense? Because we hear about the social sciences and all this kind of shit. Like, what is it? What is that, like, in an applicable way that normal people can understand? What are you actually studying?
Human interaction.
Gotcha.
Human to human interaction would be sociology, or I guess as urban studies pertains to like urban planning or like the built environment or like architecture. You're looking at like how humans interact with their built environment, spacing between buildings. How does that influence how people might walk past each other? So it's kind of some heady stuff if you look at it from like the design perspective. And maybe that's why I like urban studies and that led to urban
planning.
Right, but
because urban planning's pretty straightforward. That's like arranging districts with housing and light industrial versus light commercial versus heavy rail, all that. That's all urban planning. Like you're playing SimCity basically.
Yeah, in a nutshell. So I guess maybe the similarity with music and that is just the design, the creativity side of things.
And definitely not only the creative side, but understanding you have to actually build a foundation from the ground up, or the whole thing's not going to work once you get to the end. Like if you have shoddy plans along the way, and we've seen hundreds of bands break up over that, where they didn't have their business plan together and they went broke and they broke up on the road, or they broke up at home, or they couldn't make it fast enough, or name your reason.
Right.
So there's some definite correlations there as well. That's pretty fascinating. So that's your backup plan basically then. Yeah,
I mean, I think, obviously we're COVID-19 for the past year, so that's thrown a wrench in too many people's, everybody's lives in one form or another.
In literally everything, in both of your fields, probably.
Yeah. So this record actually, this new record, Chocolate Shotgun Sessions, kind of came about from being in grad school.
Where can people find it?
So you can go to let's go to Bandcamp. So let's go to.
Is that where you make the most money?
Yeah, definitely. So no, I'm just kidding.
No, for real though. Like, because there's debates about this in the world. Like, is it SoundCloud? Is it Bandcamp? Is it Spotify?
I'll be honest. I just wanted to put this record out because I wanted to put out new music, and if people were to stream it or purchase it or whatever, thank you very much in advance. But honestly, I just wanted to put out a record because I love making music, and I just wanted to
what we should do? Let's just throw them to your website. That's what we should be. BeatDevilMusic.com, right?
It's actually I have one of those free websites, so it's
links in the description.
Yeah,
I put it in the description.
Beat Devil Music. I think I use the wixwebsite.com. Otherwise, you can everybody just goes to Spotify or Apple Music. So if you just search for Beat Devil Music, you're gonna find it. So.
And it's the Chocolate Shotgun Sessions.
Yep, that's a new record.
One of the things I found really fucking cool about what you did with this record is I've been in this industry about 20 years, and almost every single guitar player, including me, has said they're gonna do exactly this. They said I'm gonna do a compilation album where I write the music and I have different guys come in and out, whether it's different singers or different drummers or whatever. No one's ever done it, ever. Not once has it actually been done like exactly what you did and exactly what I just described, which I've heard 1,000 times from, including me, until you actually did it. I think that's really fucking cool.
Well, I think I have to give Dave Grohl credit, honestly. Probot.
No, I'm talking local.
But okay, local. But I mean, that's kind of where I stole the idea.
It's not
from
even
anyways,
local, but like, it's not even an original idea because we've seen it done 1,000 times. But we here in this city, in this town, in our little corner of the industry have talked about it. I mean, come on, dude. I've probably heard 150 guys in the last 20 years
say I'm gonna put a compilation record
never
together,
did, including me. I'm putting my own name in that same hat until you actually fucking did it. So I just think it's cool, dude.
Right on.
I think it's really cool because I think it's incredibly hard to do. I think it's incredibly hard to build the amount of equity that you've built, the respect that you've built, where you can get that many legit singers and artists to collaborate with you.
I mean, I had to twist some arms, and yeah, it probably took a year and a half longer, 2 years. Well, I started coming up with these riff ideas in probably 2015, 16. They're laying around, and that evolves into Derek playing for everybody out there listening. Derek Abrams from Skywind and multiple other bands.
Isn't he drumming for Ministry now?
Right. So he was with them for about 3 years, and was on one of the Cinderella tours you could ever imagine, like the Slayer farewell tour with his Ministry. Who was on it? Slayer, obviously, and I think it was Phil. I think it was Phil Anselmo and the Illegals. Oh, and I think Primus. So just this fantastic lineup and
a legit all-star lineup.
So
an iconic lineup.
Kudos, golf clap to Derek just for
Sorry, I'm tying my shoe, Derek. Otherwise, I'd have golf clapped with him.
But so yeah, in terms of how long the record took to make, Derek and I we tracked drums. He had some time off from Ministry. He flew to New Orleans. Nolans. And yeah, we can come back to New Orleans. We'll get there. There's certain acceptable pronunciations for New Orleans.
New Orleans.
You got it. Like, I think we've covered them already.
I've traveled enough across this country playing shows and fucking hanging out with people where I've heard all of them from every corner of every city, all their petty little regional arguments.
Yeah.
I think they're fascinating. It's like Minnesota, Wisconsin shit.
Yeah, vernacular, man.
Fucking Louisville, Kentucky. If you're in Louisville, it's Louisville.
Right.
But everywhere else, it's still Louisville.
It's still Louisville. Yeah. You don't say Louisville Slugger. You say Louisville Slugger.
Right. And like literally anybody who's not from Louisville calls it Louisville. Mm-hmm. Like, it's only the people in Louisville that call it Louisville.
Man, I know we're going off on a tangent here now, but I think
this is what happened.
This is just the way it's going to go.
We'll get back to it.
And this is fine, everyone.
No, we're still in it though, because that's kind of the point. Is so I wanted to get to. So as you're deciding to start this, that's how you seeded it. You got Derek Abrams.
Yeah,
to fly
I was
down.
like,
He had time off.
I'm like, I need a drummer. Derek had time off. Like, the stars just kind of aligned, and he's like, yeah, sure, I'd love to do it. So. We did drums with this dude David Troya, friend of mine, engineer in New Orleans, he's actually where he worked with Karma Chima at one point, because he was engineering an OTAP record.
Oh, no shit.
But so this dude David is about your age, great engineer. He was actually, I think, he wasn't one of the original guys in 12 Stones, but he played bass for 12 Stones for a minute because those guys are from down there. I guess shout out to Paul and 12 Stones. But no, Dave's great engineer. He did Karma when Karma was an OTAP. I think he was on the Second Down record, first or Second Down record. He was an assistant engineer, but so he knows his shit, But where was I going with this? Oh, just the process of making the record, taking, and then throw COVID in, and I had some back issues, medical problems, and so you throw all those things in, and then on top of it, I think. I counted it. There was 19 or 20 people collaborating on the record between the musicians, the engineers, the mix engineers, just everybody involved. The artist that did the album art,
It's funny because people give me shit and they go...
It just took time.
They're like, oh, and by the way, I'm kind of being a dick because I'm like, nobody's doing this collaboration thing except for you. There is somebody that has done it since you. But I knew about this project a while ago. just from our own little network.
Yeah,
and shit,
I've been, it's taken so long, so I've been like,
Right.
like
There is another
I don't know how
group
many
doing
times
it.
I've announced that the record should have been out like over a year and a half ago, and,
Yeah.
and incrementally been like, oh, it's coming out. Oh wait, no, it's psych. Sorry, not that
Such is life.
not
in the
that
music
anybody's
industry,
really
right?
waiting for it, but anyways,
That's how she goes, though, right? In the music industry, at least. Especially, I mean, dude, you're dealing with musicians. It's basically a bunch of alcoholics and stoners.
and
some junkies mixed in there, too.
did,
But regardless, my next question is this. Okay, because I understand the timeline and the process. How long did it take Derek to actually, not how long was he in New Orleans, but how long did he actually take to track drums? Because he's what I would call a potential one-take guy. Like he's one of those drummers where you may not want that, but he can, where it's like if shit's tight enough, if it's written enough and he has enough time to prep for it, he could easily come in and do the whole record in one take. Or did he come down and rehearse with you first and then track the drums?
No. So Derek, I'm going to throw him under the bus a little bit right here, but this will just speak to his quality of drumming and his musicianship. So you'll always send the demos off to Derek. Be like, hey, dude, so, you're coming in 2 weeks. Just take a stab at it. You know what I mean? Try to demo something out, at least listen to it, whatever. And Derek, I love you. He always will show up, and he hasn't done shit.
He hasn't listened to him at all.
He's maybe listened to him.
That's funny.
Like, scanned the songs and be like, I got this.
But he still pulls it off.
He does, and he does it.
So how long did it take him to actually track the drums?
Like, it was over 3 days, but they weren't 8-hour sessions. So
Gotcha.
It was like maybe 16 hours, 20 hours total for 5-6 songs.
Not too shabby, especially when you got prep.
And we were literally just pre-producing everything on the fly. So
that's pretty impressive. So where'd the motivation come to start this project coming out of Future Leaders of the World? That was in case anybody's confused, that's the project he mentioned between Gingerjake and this project. It was called Future Leaders of the World. So you kind of fell into that group. I don't know if fell in is the right word, but it was already an established project that you joined later, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
So I mean, I guess we can kind of go into that if you want to, or if you're interested in it. Yeah. I would just rather spend our time on like your come up or this project, because I feel like as important as that band was for your career, it wasn't like, and we kind of talked about this before the podcast, it wasn't your baby. It wasn't your brainchild.
Yeah, no.
So where'd the motivation
I guess
coming
I'd rather,
out of that?
Going
into
to address the other question,
the Beat Devil and the Chocolate.
It would be
sessions.
that the fact that that Future Leaders wasn't my baby, wasn't my project. It was good times, no regrets while it happened. But I didn't have the, I guess, free reign to
like creatively.
Yeah, on the creative side of things, So I think, some of the ideas or some of the riffs that may have like spawned into a couple songs on this record, for instance, could have come out of that era where I just didn't have the ability to, it wasn't my project. Let's put it that way. Right. You know what I mean? So
no, I know exactly.
I had a couple songs on the record. I played a bunch of lead guitar all over it.
It's just so hard to do that, man. Like your entire career rests on this band working out. And then like if you're not in love with the music, you don't get that same creative catharsis.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of a double-edged sword in that respect.
Yeah. You just made me think of something else though too that we should cover in a little while. Maybe it would be
just bring it up now.
Well, just back to the whole like idea of doing a collaboration record, right? Like, so I've you were in the scene here. We were in the scene together in bands, and it was healthy. You know what I mean? Like it was a pretty thriving rock and metal scene. Not to mention, even though they're like, Minneapolis has always been a little cliquey with indie rock or punk rock or whatever. Certain bands mingle, certain bands don't. But I was always one of those bands where I was like, when I was, Eric, the Rodder, the bass player, and I would book Gingerjake, for instance, and we would, do most of that ourselves. But we were always kind of the thought process of, well, let's mix some genres up, you know what I mean? Like let's why not?
I mean, dude, I played with you in every single band I was in, except for the Tyrants. Because by the time I started my rock band, Gingerjake wasn't a band anymore. But literally, I opened for you guys when I was in my shitty band, 7 Months of Nothing. We played with you guys in my second band, Solace and Ashes, when we were no longer an opening band. We were usually like second on the bill, sometimes third. We talked about that before the podcast. Like, that was that band. And then we even played with you in Dying Euphoria.
Yeah.
Like, we went out and played in Sioux Falls with you.
Yeah.
You were at the show when I did the 30. Do you remember when I did the 30-foot jump off the fucking riser stack?
I do, because that was that big like convention room show we did or something, the stage was like 10 feet high.
Airplane hangar.
Yeah. It was a big venue.
Yeah. Way oversized.
Big production. But it was still fun.
I mean, there was probably 100 people there, but it felt like there was 6 people there because the venue was so big.
And it was just fun playing on a big production like that.
Dude, do you remember the fucking literal 55-gallon drum of booze of beer they gave us? And they had original Coors, not Coors Light. They gave us straight up Coors.
I'm going to say vaguely for obvious reasons. Don't need to get into that, but whatever.
It was crazy, dude. Like, I just remember being so angry that the crowd was so small because, like, the girl that booked that show built that hype up. Remember this?
Yeah.
You know, because you guys drew really well in Sioux Falls. That's why they booked you, because you guys typically drew really well. And
yeah,
then
we
they
play
booked
like
us
Nutties or
because we were supposed to like be on the in, you know, like, hey, we're gonna hook you up, like, blah blah, we love your band, blah 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 blah. And it just, none of it panned out. Like, I don't know, it was clearly something with the booking and the promoting on their end. It had nothing to do with us. There was probably another festival or a huge concert in town the same night. Like, it was kind of embarrassing, you know, but we got paid.
Right. You know, and
that's the important thing about getting a guarantee. Am I right?
It doesn't suck.
Don't take a door deal.
Yeah, I mean, but sometimes, because I've been on the other side of the coin too. Because so when I first moved to New Orleans, Future Leaders, we were supposed to have the record originally come out on EMI, and this was 2011, and EMI simultaneously, almost like within the same month or two of me moving to New Orleans for this band to go on tour.
So you did move to Nowlands for Future Leaders of the World.
Relocated my life, you know. Before that, I was bouncing back and forth between Seattle and Minneapolis, working on the record. The record got done. Phil, the singer, was like, I'm going to move to New Orleans. And he's like, have you ever been there? I was like, nope, let's go. I had nothing holding me down at the time. So I was, I went, and now it's 10 years later. But
you built a whole life for yourself down there.
I got lucky, man. I was introduced to good people. The bass player that became the bass player for Future Leaders during that time was this. At the time, my best friend Jeremy since passed away, but he introduced me to the majority of the good people that I know in New Orleans, whether it be in the music scene, and through that met other people that branched out into what has turned out to be just a good group of people down there that I know. And so I was fortunate to get taken in by
some legit cats.
Yeah.
In town and had networks. That helps
or just nice people, you know what I mean?
Like, I hit up day and night because my wife a couple of years ago, literally about 2 years ago, had a potential promotion or transfer in the greater LA area. And so when we were even just talking about that as a possibility, I immediately hit up Dan Knight, and I was like, if I came out there, can you get me like live drum work? Because I'm like probably not good enough to fucking bang out studio session shit. I'm just not. That's a Jen Dean level shit.
Yeah.
But I am the guy that will give you a live pro level performance, and you can even call me last minute. Give me 3-4 days to learn your set. I can do that. Like, I'm that good.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough to do the studio shit, but I am good enough to do this for real in LA as a drummer. Like, especially in LA, because apparently that town is full of shit drummers. I've never been to LA in the music industry. I've like been through that area, but I've never like spent time there. So I don't know. This is all what are they, anecdotal?
Well, Dan would be the guy to ask. He's been out there.
And he was like, yeah, dude. And so that was like, okay, so Kate, if you take this job, like, I'm not immediately going to be fucked. Like, I got at least 1 or 2 ins. It immediately took the pressure off. So let me ask you this, because I want to clarify this as well before we move on. So it seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, the chocolate shotgun, the chocolate shotgun sessions, right? Am I saying that right?
Chocolate shotgun sessions.
Yeah, the
chocolate shotgun sessions
is.
I should have thought about that
thing
beforehand
because of Beat Devil music, correct?
Yeah.
So Beat Devil. Yeah. So that's I guess what. So where did the motivation to start your own studio and production company come in?
Jeremy, the bass player from Future Leaders, had converted his garage into a studio. Gotcha. So we were able to do some work out of there while we were in Future Leaders. And I've been the type of person where I've never gone to school for audio engineering, but every time I've been in a studio, I've always just been like, what's going on? Kind of like right here, I'm checking it out. Like, what software is this? Or like, What are you doing? And you just I just had a natural curiosity for it.
Is that your cigarette or mine?
I think that's mine. But weird, huh? Yeah.
I know. Twinsies. We smoke the exact same cigarettes.
Twinsies.
It's the first time it's ever happened on the podcast.
I find that hard to believe, Jared.
No, for real.
For real?
People
Seriously?
have smoked American Spirits. They just have never come on with gold. I know. That
was my thing. Yellows used to be my thing.
As soon as you said, I find that hard to believe, I was like, me too. But no, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
For everybody out there,
where the fuck is Wally?
You should quit smoking. It's not good for you. Don't.
That's the question we have to ask ourselves is, where is Wally right now? He's late as fuck.
Wally. We can hold this down, man.
Wally, where are you?
Here's the thing about it. There's 11 songs on the record. Wally was on one of them. No disrespect, but I'll do my best to hold this down here.
Dude, you know what's funny is I think my favorite track on the album is that opening track.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. And it's mostly because of that.
So that here's what I call that song. This is
that dude. I just like that riff with that dude's.
Yeah.
I love that whole everything about that, and then that harmonized like Thin Lizzy style thing you do over the rhythm.
You exactly said it. So
it's so good, dude. I love it. The vibe is just killing.
It's basically like I call this my like hybrid like Mastodon Thin Lizzy song kind of.
Perfect.
It's
great
with maybe a tinge of Muse, and these are just all bands that I like to listen to. So it it just rubs off. That's what happens.
That's awesome.
But I give Derek credit because that time signature, like a 6/8 feel, is like you're gonna get that Iron Maiden gallop. Right.
Well, if you don't
like get a little,
beat, but he's playing it on the straight.
Yeah, and so the way he gave it feel or whatever. I don't know. We were talking about Derek earlier. You got to love the dude's drumming. He's good.
He's tight, dude. He's a tight drummer.
Yeah, and he can, he comes off in the studio, off the cuff.
He's very solid, plays in the pocket, doesn't try to overplay anything.
Yeah, and
puts fills where they're supposed to be.
And if he knows he can do it better, I got a better one in me. Let's redo it. And he's a pro. That's all there is to it, So happy to have him on the record.
And he's a solid songwriter from a drumming perspective.
Absolutely.
That's one of the harder things to find is a guy who knows like when to half time it, when to double time it, where to put in a fill, where to fuck off and let the guitars breathe or the vocals breathe.
Yeah.
It's so hard to find a drummer that knows how to pick his spots. So I give him a lot of props for that, dude.
Totally. But, and there were some oddball songs on this record because I like odd time signatures. So like the track we did with Moog.
Yeah, that's a weird one. What is that in?
11/8.
11/8. I knew it was some fucking weird.
It was funny too, man. Because so Sterling Winfield mixed that track. I met him when I was with Future Leaders of the World, and he ended up doing some mixes that we didn't use for whatever reason. And but I had a couple email correspondences with him, so I've had his info. And so when this came up, I was like, okay, this is probably one of the heavier, more like metal songs on the record, especially with Greg's vocals. So I was like, we should get somebody heavy to mix it. And that was kind of the premise behind the whole keeping in tabs with like, okay, because, started, okay, I want to do a song with this person. Or maybe I should try a song with this person. Or I would send, that's kind of how the process began.
I was going to say that earlier. That's people have asked me like why I beat myself up as a vocalist. And they're like, dude, like you're a great vocalist. Like you're a great singer. But, here's how I know. Because I wasn't invited on this record.
Oh, shut up, dude. No.
When anybody does these things, I am my name never crosses anyone's mind. That's how I know. Like when bands would break up and reform, nobody ever called me. Like, dude, I love your singing voice. You need, and like that's how I started to get the hint. And then
I liked your vocals in Dying Euphoria though, honestly.
Like the screams, sure.
Yeah.
But as a singer, like no, I'm not a good singer. And so
why do you think I had to do this record this way? I'm not a good singer.
Right? They're hard to find.
Yeah.
Why do you think I'm not singing on
no
my own record?
No disrespect, bro.
Why do you think I'm not singing on my own record, dude? Disrespect to myself, bro. I am disrespecting myself because like I don't deserve respect as a singing vocalist. And that's the kind of, so when bands would break up and reform, no one ever called me. Oh, I love your singing voice. You should come sing for it. That never. And so then like a year or two went by, and then I went and listened to some of my own recordings, and something had changed where I was able to listen to myself, not as myself.
Huh.
And I was like, oh, this is not only not good, this is really bad. You should never do this again. Stick to writing the songs, like the guitars or the drums. Don't do the singing thing ever again. I was a good front man. I was a very great entertainer, like top tier. I'll put myself up there.
I would agree 100%, man.
But dude, as a singer, nah. And that's why it cracks me up, because like, yeah, there's one more band in town that's doing the vocalist thing too, and same thing.
Well,
like,
nobody
calls me for that bitch either.
Not everybody.
And rightfully so. You shouldn't call me for these projects because I'm terrible.
Nobody make fun of Wally for having the voice of an angel.
Right.
I mean, not all of us can do that.
And Greg's an OG.
Right.
Yeah, Greg is a true professional musician from a vocalist perspective. I don't know if he can sit down and fucking play piano or write guitar or play drums or any of that kind of shit.
He
but
noodles, yeah.
As a fucking actual performing professional vocalist, he's a pro, dude. Like he's like he doesn't have any weaknesses in his fucking stage game. Like he knows how to control his voice and sing within his limits, which is probably the biggest challenge, which I never mastered. I never even learned what my real voice sounded like. I was a mimicker. Like I probably would have been a decent cover band vocalist, but when I tried to sing with my own voice, it was just horseshit.
Move to Nolans, the cover band. The cover band scene there is the most prolific I've ever seen anywhere in the country, and I don't know if that's
even
because
like
of
Nashville.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Because I think it's more stylistically varied, whereas like Nashville was historically a lot of just country.
The only style of music
folk.
I can sing well, there's two styles actually. I can actually fucking pretty much sing almost exactly like the dude from Johnny Rook, James.
Oh, okay.
So that's out, right? Somebody else already does that. Plus, he's kind of biting on dude from Counting Crows a little bit, if you think about it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I could do that old like lounge style. Like the Frank Sinatra.
That's what you got to go with, dude.
Dude, if I went to New Orleans, that's what I'd be doing. I would front a fucking lounge act, dude, in a tuxedo. Like,
that's what gets you laid.
I'd go full on.
Like, let's be real. Why are we in this business? No.
Hey, I brought that up.
No.
You only have three motives in this world. To leave your basement, you're either trying to make money, you're either trying to get famous, or you're trying to get girls. It's one of those three things. And like you could try to explain it. No, it's this. But no. It's going to be one of those three things, or you didn't leave your basement. So like I don't want to hear the therapy thing, because if it was just therapy, it'd be just you and your 4 or 5 boys hanging out in the basement
and that would
having
be
therapy. But as soon as you decide you want to play live shows, there's one of those three motivating factors.
Something happens in your ego.
And let's just be honest. We're all a little fractured as musicians. We're all a little bit needy. We're like comedians in that respect.
Yeah. You need, for whatever, we have these personalities that you need a little...
We're a little emotionally jacked.
Yeah. You need to be told you're doing good, maybe. And I don't know.
Yeah, like something. I don't know.
Something affirmative.
And it's different for every one of us.
Yeah, it is.
It's different for every one of us, right? Like
I've always been super shy on stage. Like, whereas you're like an apeshit, go apeshit front guy.
I have to.
Yeah.
I have to.
And that's more than respectable, you know what I mean? It's entertainment, but it's also not contrived when I've played with you, So it's like
no, it's definitely not rehearsed or contrived.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's like maybe that's we could get into this now or later, but I got respect for EDM music, and I'll probably get, a lot of shit for even saying this, but like,
you'd be surprised how diverse our fucking listener base is in their music tastes.
But I mean, dude, I when Future Leaders, when that EMI thing happened where SoftBank bought them and the deal fell through, me and the bass player were sitting there going, well, what the hell do we do next?
Explain that. So what happened? So Future Leaders of the World, the band.
Right. So when I was kind of doing double duty between Gingerjake and Future Leaders 2008 and 2009, finished a record, the second record with Future Leaders of the World. That was the follow up to that album that had Let Me Out on it that got, Phil some notoriety and radio play and whatnot.
Okay.
And so I was
Let's get that out.
Word. But no, I was going back and forth. We finished the record, and that's when I moved to New Orleans. And so shortly after we moved to New Orleans, the part of what prompted me to do that was like, oh, okay, so there's a distribution deal with EMI on the table. Cool. It seems like, the ducks were in the row, or at least the potential for it. And, so at that point, basically, EMI was sold to SoftBank, and the bass player and I ended up starting a music venue, and that kind of rolled into.
You started a music venue?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. So I was trying to think of like chronologically how everything happened, but So when that EMI thing fell through, Phil went back to his other band.
The EMI
Machina.
thing? That's the venue thing?
No, EMI was the record label that was going to put the Future Leaders of the World record out.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
when that fell through, the bass player and I, because Phil kind of went back to his other band, and the bass player and I were like, oh, we just kind of rearranged our whole lives for this. Shit, what do we do now? So he ended up leasing through the grapevine. There was a venue that was a bit run down. It was called the Hangar. Was one of the main rock venues in New Orleans. This guy Jason Jami ran it, and but Hurricane Isaac came through in 2012, and so he ended up relinquishing his lease on it. So this building was available that used to be a known music venue. So Jeremy, my bass player, jumped on the lease, and I became the talent buyer, and so I did that for about 2.5 years, and so that rolled into, I guess this is what I've been up to in New Orleans for the last 10 years. So it was first with Future Leaders that fell through. Ran a music venue for 2.5 years or so, 3 years. Oh man, that's a story.
And you probably had a confidence and experience going into that from your experience.
I think
booking
that's
with Bill and Joe and Shannon.
All
here.
that, and then even having to book Future Leaders nationally. Like Phil and I, we did work with some agents here and there, but we filled in a lot of gaps. Or if we had the connections, we would just book it ourselves.
Well, and to tie in what we were talking about earlier, and we kind of got sidetracked, is when you were in Gingerjake, you would play with metal bands. You'd play with all kinds of diverse styles of music, and that was kind of taught to us through like Joe Spanbauer and Shannon Brettel, because they were really smart about that shit too. And same thing with Bill Berry. So that would make sense how you kind of naturally transitioned into that, and then so the venue kind of naturally evolved with the because Duder already had the garage studio and shit. So it just kind of slowly evolved. That's kind of
my and by no means am I like a fantastic engineer or anything.
So there was never an aha moment. There was never a crazy, you got bonked on the head and had an epiphany. There was no like near-death experience. It was just a slow evolution of you putting all your arrows in one direction. You're a professional musician. That's what you want to do. And you just continue to build good relationships with talented musicians, and more opportunities come your way, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think the key is just like try not to burn bridges. You know what I mean? Like,
man, I've been way too willing to do that.
Not that I haven't done it, but
you fuck me, I fuck you. We burn bridge down.
Right? But no, at the end of the day, I've been really fortunate, man. I feel like I was in the minor leagues for a solid 15 years, and it was fun.
Yeah,
and
you learn a lot. In this town.
Yeah, anywhere you live. Like New Orleans doesn't really have, because again, back to like the whole, I said it was New Orleans would be it's got this prolific cover band scene there. Like, so after that music venue 2016, I think I worked for a cover band in New Orleans called the Chiwis. and it's based off of like kind of a Fritos style corn chip snack or whatever, you buy at the corner store at the bodega. But worked for those guys, man, and they I don't want to like disclose all of their business leanings and whatnot, but like they did well for themselves, and I was doing production from them, and they would bring, they get paid well enough to rent an RV. They eventually bought a bus. So I'm just saying, like, this is all these guys do, and they play 250 weekends out of the year, maybe more, probably closer to 300. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it stems from like blues music historically gets retold from artist to artist. So in a way it becomes cover music, you know what I mean? Like whether it's Robert Johnson or whoever, like, those songs will always be played, or Louis Armstrong or whatever. So New Orleans has this tradition.
It's the jazz, and not a lot of people are writing prolific new jazz. Right.
So I guess, maybe the cover music scene evolved out of that kind of like history of music, but then you do have some seminal metal and rock bands that came out of New Orleans.
There's a few.
There? Acid Bath was a metal band from the early 90s. They turned into like members split off of that and became Goat Whore and Soylent Green.
Oh yeah, I remember Soylent Green.
Dude, it's funny, and now I just like see these guys when I'm eating at like some Jimmy John's or something, or buying underwear or socks at TJ Maxx. I bump into the singer from Goat Whore. I shit you not, like, this is where I've run into Ben, the singer from Goat Whore, twice in New Orleans in the last 3 or 4 years. Once was he was sitting right in front of me, side stage at the Motley Crue farewell tour. Yeah, and I was like, dude, we gotta stop meeting this way, because then it was like some little like Asian fast food restaurant prior to that, and then I see him in TJ Maxx, and like we're in the underwear aisle together, like in our black t-shirts, like, hey dude, what's up?
That's
just getting underwear. I know, right? So you're just like, hey man. Down is from New Orleans.
Yeah. Down. I used to run into the guitar player. There he is.
There he is.
Oh man.
Hey,
it must have taken you so long to get here because you're so fat.
Oh God.
Just huge. I used to run into the guitar player. I don't think he lives down there anymore, but the guitar player, Cradle of Filth, used to hang. He used to hang out at the Bulldog in Uptown. Like,
no shit.
And I'd be sitting there having a beer and fucking eating nachos, sitting next to the guitar player, Cradle of Filth, and we would just sit there and bullshit about whatever.
Nice.
Fucking. We didn't talk a lot. I mean, he was cool. He was nice, but it's not like we became buds or anything. We never exchanged numbers, but he was cool.
But yeah, and
we exchanged fluids. How you doing? Thanks for showing up.
What's going on, man?
Good to see you guys.
Yeah.
So,
how are we doing?
Wally overslept. Greg can't make it because he's got.
He smells AIDS. He smells better than both of us though right now. Like you can tell he actually showered for this.
During the promo read, I said Greg died, and then I was like, no, I'm kidding. He didn't die. He just has AIDS. No, I'm just kidding. It's stupid, but he didn't make it. But you overslept. You must have also showered because you look great.
Oh, thanks, honey.
Yeah,
you don't look like you just woke up and got here as fast as you could.
Could I get a little more volume out of what's going on here? Is that
no,
feasible?
You just have to deal with it. Of course,
I'll switch over to this one or whatever. Yeah, I can barely.
How's
hear
that?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's good. I did get.
You good?
Yeah,
I can hear you great.
No, I had actually been fighting just a cold this last week and stuff, and then like last night was like the kicker for me, and I feel amazing.
Really?
Right now. Yeah,
nice.
But I just probably because I got more sleep.
Dude, my stomach issues fucked me up for the last few days, actually.
Yeah?
And I didn't sleep last night. I was up till 3, 4 in the morning, and then I was like, well, fuck it. I'll just stay up. It'll be easier than trying to just get a couple hours of sleep, because then you just feel like shit. Well, let me just get 2-3 hours. Not me, man. If I don't get like a full 4 to 5 hour cycle, whatever, I'm fucked. Right. And that would have put me up against the gun, and then I wouldn't have been ready for the podcast, because I still got. I was telling you about this before we started. I still got prep, and you've been here before. Mm-hmm. It's like sometimes there's like a solid hour and a half of shit I got to do to get ready for the podcast. Ridiculous, but I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, it's good.
We're excited to have you, dude.
Aw.
I'm obviously tired.
Cool.
And yeah. I completely lost train of thought of what we were actually talking about.
I was just gonna say that I agree. Anything less than like 5 hours of sleep, it's like hard. You know what I mean? I mean, you have kids,
You
Wally.
got 3 daughters,
you
yep,
know,
yep.
and like my brother does, and I see people with kids. My girlfriend's got a 5-year-old daughter. It's like, yeah, it's taxing, man. Takes time. You need to get sleep.
Yeah.
Now, with me, it was just shows over the weekend, so that was fun. But it's what I do love about what's going on right now with the 11 o'clock kind of like shutdown of all the bars and stuff like that.
Okay,
is I don't have to be breaking down gear till 5 in the morning.
This is true.
However, I'm still breaking down gear and getting home at 2 or 3 in the morning.
It's like what are the weirdly odd perks about COVID?
Right,
being a musician.
Exactly.
11 o'clock closing time. I'm,
I think bars should actually go to something similar like this because between that, so we've been playing from 7 o'clock till 11 o'clock. Okay, so that's our 4-hour time slot. For a little cover band thing, it's great. Usually in the bar scene, you take that 11:30 midnight window. That's where the people kind of filter out, anyways. And you still got, and the people who hang around usually are your drunk fucking idiots. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just so that time window there of between 11 and 2 or wherever you're located. It's usually just a bunch of fucking morons who don't give 2 shits about your set, anyways.
I think you might be onto something, man. Because
that's when you give the mat shot to
like
at the end of the night.
All ages shows start at 5-6 o'clock and they're done by 10. National shows, the headlining band is going on at 9.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're playing a 3-hour set, they're still done by midnight.
Yeah,
and then you still have an hour or 2 to go to the bar afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why are like the worst part of headlining when I finally made it to be a local headline, and both of you fucks can attest to this.
Mm-hmm.
You finally achieve headlining status, and then as soon as you get done playing, last call, and you're like, I want to party. We just headlined.
Nope.
I don't want to fucking shut it down now. So then you have to find an after party.
Yep.
Why don't? Man, that's
and
what
nobody does
sucks
those
about
Anymore.
Minneapolis.
Nobody does that shit anymore. Like the lack of unless they're young kids.
Well, because remember we started moving to 21 plus shows because we started getting in trouble at 18 plus shows. People were sneaking in underagers, and a couple bars got tagged.
We'd sneak in chicks in our road cases. We did. I'm not kidding you. We actually we did a few shows at the Fine Line and stuff like that. And we knew that there was no security, no camera, no nothing at the back door. So we literally would load girls up in road cases and bring them up the ramp and bring them down and stuff like that. And I don't know how the hell we got away with it, but it was really funny.
Oh my god.
Anything's possible.
We had a road case that was about 6 or 8 feet long, but it was only a couple feet wide. It was clearly for nothing more than like drum hardware. But it was the perfect size to fit a 24-pack of bottles lengthwise, and then you could run the gamut.
Yep.
And I think you could go too deep. And we would fill that fucker up and sneak it into the Rock nightclub. You remember the big bouncer that came from Star Central with the beard named Jamie?
I think so, yeah.
Dude, he came in one night. He's like, where the fuck are you guys getting all these beers? I'm like, at the bar. And they're like, we don't even sell that beer in a bottle.
Yep. Nailed.
No.
And we're like, I don't know. Fucking somebody keeps bringing them to us. They never figured it out. We got away with that for years.
Oh, I missed that place, honestly.
Fucking man. All right, so
that was probably one of the first places Gingerjake and Skywine played together was The Rock.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
So.
No, you're fine. I was just gonna say, for me, it was Star Central playing with you, and
I like that place too.
Only time I ever played a show with you was at that rigged battle of the bands at that casino, and we didn't even play on the same night in the same battle. You were in the Rock battle the night before against you guys.
Against them.
You were also part of that rigged battle of the bands. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? When Bill Berry called us. Bill Berry called us to play a battle of the bands.
Yeah.
And all the positions were rigged.
I don't know why they just didn't call it just a show. Like, who gives a fuck?
Because it was they gave him a lot of money. That's why.
Yeah.
Because they gave him a fuck ton of money. And it was supposed to be a big deal.
Right.
They gave him like 20 grand. And he paid, no, actually they gave him like 30 grand. Because basically if you did the math, he paid out almost 10 grand on each night.
Okay.
So like the winner was supposed to win like $3,500. Second place was like $2,500, and then it tiered down all the way to fifth place. Yeah. I think the fifth place band got $100, but it was almost 10 grand paid out each night. And I knew him and I would get him drunk and get him to slip little nuggets because I'd be like, come on, man, teach me how the industry works. You know, dude, it's Bill Berry, right? It's Bill Berry, right?
Oh,
like,
yes.
like, and
Oh,
he
yes.
wanted to coach us up, and like he really took a shine to me for that.
Huh?
So I got him to slip that. Yeah, he pocketed as much as he paid out on that night. So he got paid about 30 grand to put that thing on. But he spent nothing on promo is the point. He gave us all the money and he took a big chunk of money and he's like, fuck this casino. We're fucking getting rich,
that's
bitch.
kind of how casino gigs kind of work, though.
That's also kind of how Bill Berry worked.
Like,
we're all making money. Fuck that venue.
Yeah. But, I mean,
I still love that
it's
guy.
like sometimes they have a surplus sometimes, I believe, in their entertainment budgets and stuff.
I still
So it's
love
like
Bill Berry.
dude, I couldn't tell you where he is right now.
I know.
No fucking idea.
He's gone. Did you know this? He disappeared.
Yeah, he literally fell off the face. Well,
He
the black cars came looking for him.
Yeah.
No.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he stole like 300 grand from a bunch of people. Fucking, I won't say anything bad about him
Well, he
because
wasn't
he
paying
did
his
too much.
taxes, is what he wasn't doing.
He did.
That's why they came after him.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, dude. He was. You
Gotcha.
know, there's money. Obviously,
And then he
he's putting on these
disappeared
shows.
while he still owed people money.
So
Yeah.
this is like, you know,
So he didn't steal people's money. He bailed with no ability to pay it back while he was still
Yes.
in debt. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
totally different.
Yep.
That's okay. And
Yeah.
you know what? I'm actually good with that because I refuse to say anything bad about him in the first place because he did too many good things for me. I will just still absolutely acknowledge what he did. I'm not going to pretend it didn't happen, but I've never once said anything bad about Bill Berry, nor will I, because that motherfucker, him and Joe Spanbauer gave me all the shots.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
be anywhere in the industry, let alone doing this
Totally.
podcast right now, hanging out with you two fine gentlemen, if it wasn't for those two guys. I'm dead serious because I didn't play with you until that fucking thing.
Yeah, there's history.
Up in that casino, and I played the first time with you at Star Central way back in the day. So Joe Spanbauer and then Bill Berry connection. I'll never talk shit about those dudes, man.
Spanbauer definitely shout out, you know.
We were talking about that earlier too, how we learned to
Integral
book
person.
shit. We learned how to like really do things through those guys, man. Yeah, those guys were huge mentors. But
I gotta call Joe when I get out of here. Actually,
Really?
Yeah.
No
yeah.
shit.
Tell him hello.
I want to get him
will.
on the podcast, but I don't even ask him because I know he's gonna say no. I know him well enough to where he's
Why
gonna
would
be
he say
like,
no?
because it's Joe. Think about it.
I don't know, dude. So dude's got a lot of stories, man. I mean, it
I
could
know,
be a
but-
lot of fun.
He does.
But think about it. It's Joe.
Mhm.
He's gonna be like, I don't want to do a podcast. I have no interest in doing your podcast, and not in a dick way. It's
Yeah.
just not Joe.
Yeah. I
If
don't know.
Joe wanted to
I'll
do
tell
the
you what.
podcast, he'd reach out. Let me put it that
Yeah.
way.
I'll ask him.
You should ask him.
And then if
I
he
would
says
love
yes,
to have him on.
You bring fucking donuts next time.
Deal. So what have you been up to, man?
My God. Mixing 4 albums right now. Just getting back into playing shows. We got a Skyline show coming up on for Joe's birthday, because he's doing his annual birthday bash thing. So we're putting the
When is that again?
May 1st.
Man, I should try to be
I'll be
here.
back in town.
I should try to be here.
Dude, come and hang out, man.
I should.
It'd be a
Come
blast.
and rock a couple songs with us or something like that.
That would be awesome.
That would be fun.
I wish Montoya and I's project had our shit together so we could have been on that show because those are always fun to be at. and
Mhm.
play.
Yeah, and Nuisance's direct support. I don't even know if I should be saying all this shit right now, but yeah. And then Joe's band is opening, but yeah, there
but
you go.
it's still refreshing after a year of us all being, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the entire planet. Just being,
Absolutely,
like,
absolutely.
in
I think
the state that
This
it's in.
motherfucker never stopped.
Music is coming back. You know,
I
mean,
did never
it's-
stop.
He
yeah.
never stopped.
That is true.
No, like
He
you know,
looked
like
COVID dead in the eye and was like,
dude,
eat my asshole.
yeah.
And was like, I'm living my
No,
life.
Wally
Yeah.
and Adam Pierce, who's on I think it was the intro music or whatever on the ad, but Adam was on the voice, and
Mhm.
he was actually, and he's a New Orleans native, you know, and he got a hold of some promoter in Minnesota, Wisconsin, but I'm talking like in the sticks, kind of like Brainerd style
Oh, yeah.
towns. Dude, he was up there. You know, if the weather was nice and he could do an outdoor patio show,
Yeah.
he was flying up to the Midwest and doing shows.
And that's just it. Is they do
So-
not give a fuck in smaller communities. Big cities, you're fucked because that's just going to be their policies, and that's the way that you got to play the game. But we kept doing small town shows or doing outdoor events when we could, or just when I was, you know, even
Makes
just doing
sense.
solo acoustic shit.
Those guys
You know,
got
just-
bills to pay, man.
Yeah.
Like those guys
you have
got-
to when
like-
all of your eggs are in that basket.
That's
Yes.
what I'm saying. Those are like small
How do
business
you
owners.
survive? Like this is there's no precedent for this
Like
in our
those
lifetime.
businesses,
You know what I mean?
You got to get
So-
creative.
Those
You gotta get
bars
very
and
creative.
clubs cannot survive at half capacity for 90 days. Like they would go under.
Mm-hmm.
The margins in the restaurant business and the music venue business are already so small.
Yeah.
I don't think people really comprehended that. I don't think they really thought that one through all the way.
No, not at all.
Because it was not well thought out. Dude, but I wanted to tell you, because we haven't had a lot of time to talk because we're both so busy now. But you are fucking directly responsible for the number one most requested podcast guest that we've ever had.
Sorry.
People, I have gotten
I'll own up to it.
I have gotten at least 50, probably closer to 100 messages about Stormbreaker.
Oh, no shit,
Since the last time you were on.
That's pretty cool.
It is ridiculous.
Have you heard those kids yet?
I'm going to check them out this Friday. I'm going to that A440 Fest.
It's totally like a Jason Becker, Marty Friedman cacophony kind of thing or whatever.
It's 80s shred.
Yeah.
It's 80s
I love
shred.
it.
And goddamn,
you said Marty Friedman, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like that kind of thing going on. Like, these two kids can play their goddamn asses off, but the rest of the band backs it up too, and they're great people to hang out with.
And he's been producing their records.
Yeah,
so.
Dude, this is good news. This is good to hear. This is kind of like what before you came in.
Yeah.
I was just talking about running this music venue in New Orleans, and to stay financially solvent, like we basically like doubled up on the weekends, and because we had no closing time in New Orleans, we could throw a rave show. So we do EDM
Brilliant.
DJs right after a rock show. We just do a quick stage switch from like 12:30 to 1, and then go EDM. And so I guess what I was going to say earlier is like COVID put a damper on live music, period. But we were already going in this trend where like kids were pressing buttons instead, or programming or doing stuff in the box, which is still creative. Still kudos to making music, but like feels like like the live band, like the live rock band. So it's cool to see like the band you're mentioning here, and there's another band in New Orleans called Green Gasoline. They're all in like their early mid-20s, and they're like Guns N' Roses meets AC/DC or something meets Mastodon, and it's badass.
Rock and roll, baby.
Exactly. So I'm glad to hear of new bands still trying to do it.
Yeah,
you know?
there's some stuff going on up here right now. It's
I got a little 80s spank in my shit too.
Oh yeah.
But it's like there's.
Did you see how he said it like a question? Like he's never once. He's supposed to produce my record, but he's never once listened to my record.
Shut
yet.
up. You know better.
I know. I just fucking. But you did say it like a question. Like yeah.
But there's a little bit of a resurgence going on right now. I think when things start opening back up fully, it'll I think you're going to see a nice little turnaround. It's going to be a little rock and roll or just live music revolution or something, versus because everybody's I'm sick of fucking Zoom shows. Okay,
right.
So I like looking at technology makes me sick sometimes. I don't know if it does it to you guys or whatever, but like
a little bit.
I haven't been playing live like you have, so whether it be Zoom or whatever.
So let me ask you this.
I've just been holed up in the studio trying to put out a record,
right?
And not being a singer, I can't do that format.
So
really,
let me ask you this: other than the
dude.
obvious,
I can imagine,
on this topic, other than the obvious super high production budget, what have we lost from watching old concert videos versus the new shit that's being done online? Other than the obvious big budget shit.
Well,
is it talent on the shooting side? Is it artistic vision? Are the bands not as good?
In my opinion, you're right now, because I think back in the day, I mean, you can take it from the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever. When the Rolling Stones put a record together, everybody was playing live in that room.
You and I've talked about this.
So you have to be fucking spot on. You screw up, you've just screwed up the entire take because they didn't have individual tracks to work with. Yeah. So now, a lot of bands who have released live discs in the last 5-10 years, they go back in the studio and they tune the vocals, or they relay down a guitar part, or something where somebody,
out.
Exactly, and still try to keep the live essence to it. Yep. Where now, sorry motherfucker, you're on a Zoom call, it's going to be live. Wes Scanlon was the perfect thing right there for it to see exactly
about the puddle of mud debacle.
What you're dealing with right there is like, because I've never. Apparently, Wes is a really good rhythm guitar player. He's actually can fucking play.
I can tell that.
I tried to catch Future Leaders had the opportunity to play with them at one point, and he had a meltdown, and they ended up dropping off. And so from that point on, I was like trying to go see a Puddle of Mud show just because I wanted to witness a meltdown.
Yeah,
I actually kind of like some of their songs, but I was like, I kind of want to see this train wreck because I had heard about it.
They were supposed to be the saviors of rock and roll.
Dude,
you know
I
that?
was there with him when he fell off the wagon the last time.
The last time?
Yeah,
Did you
I
do
believe
it?
it was the last time.
Are
And
are you at fault?
I am not at fault. I actually tried to. I actually
him the whiskey shot?
fucking no. I tried to talk him off the
It's
ledge
like, fucking no.
because
It
I
was
wasn't.
me.
I wasn't boozing that night. We have a bunch of mutual friends. His tour manager is a guy by the name of, or was a guy by the name of Sean Johnson. Sean actually lives up here in the city.
I think you told this story last time we were on the podcast.
I probably did. I
Because
probably
we
mentioned it
played
once
that
before.
clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And shit you not, we're just sitting in the bar just shooting the shit, and he's just like turns and looks at me. He's like, fucking really tired of this shit, dude. And I just want to drink.
Yeah.
Just want a fucking whiskey. I'm like, dude, don't do it. I'll sit here and drink fucking Diet Coke with you all night. No big deal.
Yeah.
He's like, nah. And then all of a sudden it was like a switch flipped,
Ugh.
and he went into douche mode, jumped up on the bar, and just fucking pan to like if it was a Tarantino movie or
Sure.
something like that. Fucking
The jump
pan
cut.
to the next fucking 20,
2 hours
25
later.
minutes. Yeah, he's fucking on top of the bar. I'm a rock star, like saying all this just douchey shit. I'm just like,
Ugh.
you are fucking totally instantly hateable now. I got to get the fuck out of here. And like that was how I left it. Then next thing you know, here he's getting arrested for this, arrested for that, fucking golf carts and fucking airports and everything and stuff, and just like being a complete dickhead. So yeah, I tried to talk him off the ledge. That is a real thing. That fucking totally
Believe
happened,
it.
man.
On the note, though, he actually is. So when I finally caught them, it was at the House of Blues in New Orleans, maybe 2.5, 3 years ago.
Mhm.
He is a good rhythm guitar player. He was
Good.
he was
Oh,
clean.
mhm.
He was singing, playing at the same
Nice.
time.
Nice.
Yeah. He
Good.
was on.
We were
So,
talking about just
I
a
don't
second
know.
ago. We were talking about really like the resurgence of what we think are going to be the next wave of really good live bands, like
Mhm.
the real cream of the crop.
Yeah.
Via's in that category. I think I haven't seen them live yet, but listening to them on record, they sound like what you were just describing,
Mhm.
which I have preached. Your job is to write music in a room,
Mhm.
right, or start playing it out live and figure whatever, but do it real. And then your job is to capture that sound on record. But I agree, too many kids are doing it in reverse. They're writing the music in Pro Tools, shipping tracks back and forth. They don't rehearse enough together. They have no fucking chemistry. The songs aren't really written by the group. It's a group of riffs slapped together digitally, and it's called a song. And then these kids show up, and it's a shit show. And so when, like you said, like there's not a lot of people going out already, it was to tie back into where we started before Wally showed up. Like, okay, we had all those bookers quit basically right around the same time. And then we had all those bands we mentioned, including yours and several other big ones all the way up to fucking Head Charge, all basically break up at the same time. And then not only did you have bands like mine get thrust into the headlining position when we weren't ready for it, we didn't have good management or good bookers. We didn't know what the fuck we were doing. We weren't ready to headline. You also, right after that, the next wave of kids were all digital.
Mm-hmm.
So the integrity of the live performance was lost.
Yeah.
So it was like a self-feeding fucking organism that just decayed the integrity from the live music scene in Minneapolis. Because I'm telling you, bro, the hip-hop scene is thriving. Like, they did not get slammed like we did.
Here's my thing about that, though, is like there is something that's really cool about writing songs together in a room. That is really cool with your other bandmates and stuff. But
Harder to do.
Very hard to do, and
especially if everyone wants to be the songwriter.
Because I'm a
shut up, bass player.
I'm a dinosaur now. But it's like looking back, I wish I had the technology that I have right now with Pro Tools and with all the other stuff where I can actually, and that's how we did the Sleeping Giants record, was I literally wrote everything with Logic and Pro Tools and just kind of dished it out to the rest of the guys because everybody's lives have changed.
Can I tell you why that's a little different, though? Because that's basically the equivalent of you showing up to rehearsal with a song. Going, hey, guys, I have this song. So you wrote the song.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how you wrote it, cut and paste all you want. You wrote that song. You were in the room with yourself while you wrote it. And then you sent it to everyone else, and they wrote their parts to the song instead of you going, I got a riff.
True.
Write a drum part. And then boom, boom, boom. Okay, there's our
However,
verse. Let's write a chorus. You see what I'm getting at?
There's a certain lack of like when you are in a room with the rest of your bandmates and stuff where because you have that riff, well, Rich goes,
the aha
hey, dude,
moments.
try this, try that instead because then we can do this and whatever. So there's certain little things that get lost.
Yep.
in that.
We've talked about this so much. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
1,000%. Do you agree as well?
I do.
That
yeah,
magic of being in the room,
Yeah.
the aha moment.
4 heads or 5 heads are better than one.
Yeah.
Or
in
just that,
some
even
situations,
like,
you know?
and then you like, I learned this from your band and Bill Berry. Like the best working bands, each guy's got a role, right? So like, in most of my bands, I'm one of 2 primary songwriters, and then we have another guy, and these are the bands that worked well together. Like we had another guy who's really good at coming up with like bridges, intros, transitions, shit like that. And then like
you got a bridge guy, is what you tell me.
Sort of, sure, right? Sure.
And then you have, hey, I got a bridge guy for you.
And then you have that one guy who's like the best at shitting on bad ideas, where he's the guy in the band who's like, no, that sucks. He's not going to write the riff for you. He's not going to tell you what riff should be there, but he'll just tell you when that no, and he pisses everyone off, but he has value. And then you have that last guy who's like the aha guy, the rich.
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, I heard it. I'm that guy. I'm like, stop, everyone stop. Do this. Bup. And then everyone's like, nope, I don't like it. Or everyone's like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Keep it.
Yeah.
It's 50-50 every time.
Yeah.
But the problem, I think, is the difficult part is when we're all in a room writing together is when we all want to be the main songwriter. So none of us are willing to fucking give on our brilliant genius idea, and we're not really willing to listen to the other guys. Like, that's when I notice shit goes bad, or you don't have any real songwriters and you got what I call a bunch of part players. And that's what I was kind of alluding to, is I think this newest generation, you have prolific songwriters, but they're doing what he's doing. So you've got like one person really writing the song and then sending it off.
Yeah.
That seems to kind of work if you have a really good primary songwriter.
I
But
don't know, I was always for the democracy of it, though. Like,
No, me too.
I never really bit into the idea that it's Wally's way or the highway or anything stupid like that. I was like, okay, have fun with it. Let's see if we can cultivate this together. Because, well,
it's like even the
I'm
way
kidding, dude. I love you,
that
brother.
you and I collaborated,
Mhm.
or for the most part, like how I collaborated with everybody on the
Yeah.
record. But like I threw you 2 or 3 songs, or you heard a bunch of them, and you're like, I kind of like this one.
Yeah.
And then because I agree with you, when people write their own parts, somebody comes to maybe a part of an idea or whatever, and just things evolve or whatever. But you get, especially with like writing lyrics. That's why I didn't want to come with this project and be like, okay, I wrote all these songs and wrote the lyrics, and here's how you're gonna sing them. But I can't sing. You know what I mean? I thought it would just be way more organic to just have.
I feel that.
Let the singer who actually the music, did something for him.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
exactly
Then
what
do
I'm
something
doing
to
with
that,
Montoya.
and that's why honestly making a collaboration record ended up being easier than I thought it was going to be, because I know enough singers that have slightly different vocal styles or are better at one thing than another, and I had a range of songs, and I was just like, fuck, throw them all out to different people and just
some of
see what happens.
Some of the samples I've heard and stuff too, I'm just like, how the fuck did you shoehorn that into there? And as I said, it's like everybody's styles are so different and stuff like that, where the one that I chose was just like, this just feels right. I love the piano in it and stuff like that. The guitars had a great drive. Just fucking everything was right up my alley, and it felt very much in my wheelhouse.
And you killed it.
to do that.
It was
Thanks, man.
it was a pleasure.
Yeah, and
know?
I think that works too, because you wrote a lot of these songs and then brought in you kind of wrote them with Derek. Like you had were the songs finished, or did you send him parts and you guys wrote it together?
He had kind of an instrumental version of it.
Yeah.
So pretty much start to
And-
finish.
Yeah.
Did you tweak it after you got back some vocals?
And that's what I was gonna say. Is like
Yeah.
Wally was like, "Hey, how do you feel about like messing with the arrangement a little bit?" And I was like, "Dude, if you need to like take a verse section and make it twice as long, or shave it, or do whatever, do it. I'm open to any and all suggestions to fit the vocals."
Turned out really good, man.
If you
it's a really
pull
good
it
song.
that way, I think you can still do the digital thing and make it
Yeah,
work.
because I don't know.
That's like you're digging back to your years of experience writing songs in a room, not in a room, in a room, not in a room. So you guys can kind of pull that off. But if you're 16, 17, 18, 19 years old, and that's all you know,
right?
you're not going to dig deep in your songwriting well.
Yeah, you might not.
That's what I'm getting at. Like, they're missing something to it. So
It's-
where this rant started is I'm just heavily backing up your point that I think there
me too.
is a new group of people that are coming through and understanding the real integrity of being a real band, going to rehearsals.
Yeah.
And if you're truly pro, like most of us don't have to rehearse. If we decided to start a band right now,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about this on a podcast. We could probably write a song, have it recorded with the technology and the talent we have, literally mixed and mastered inside 15 minutes, and it would be a pretty decent song.
That's a little.
I was gonna go at the end of the afternoon.
Yeah, I know, right.
But
no, we could do it, and I know we could do it because fucking
I'm feeling
Nickelback wrote a top
feeling
40 hit
lazy
doing
lately.
this. I'm not saying we could write a hit.
They've
but
written
it
all
would
their
be
hits
a
doing this.
decent sounding song.
It'd be song 3 or something. Dun, 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 dun,
Oh, yeah.
dun, 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 dun,
We could pull it off. I know we
Totally.
could pull it off.
Totally.
But that's because
do that
but
all
that's
day.
because we have a combined 90 years experience between the three of us.
Right.
It's ridiculous. It's obnoxious if you think about it that way. But these kids that don't know any better, that's all I'm saying. And that was just a glorified way of backing up.
No,
your
I know what
point.
you're saying.
I think
That's
you're right.
fine.
I think they are missing something. And then I think the lack of good performing live bands has also fed that lack of a crowd coming back,
And
a
then-
lack
and then-
of an interest.
And then,
But
goddamn COVID.
I think this is all a pretty decent way to segue into actually playing one of the tunes, and specifically, I think we should play the one that you guys just talked about collaborating on. Is there anything else you guys
Cool.
want to talk about before we play the song?
Wally.
I don't know.
What
do you want to know?
I'm saying, is there anything you want to talk about regarding this song before we actually play it? Is there anything cool or interesting people should listen for? Anything that stuck out to you?
Well, I think what the angle I took with it lyrically and stuff, I wanted to kind of have it hit a little bit home with like kind of where him and I kind of come from. Like, it's the industry that we're in is so dirty and so shitty that they will chew you up and spit you out within fucking seconds.
100%.
And like the song is more or less kind of about being taken advantage of for your talents, for your resources or whatnot. And you're just fucking sick of it.
Amen.
And you're over it. So the song is called Joyride. Because it does seem there's moments where you feel like you are on top of the fucking world, and there's a fucking quick letdown coming right around the goddamn corner, and you just all of a sudden just hate everybody and hate everything, and it fucks with you. It's a giant fucking.
That's how my
I
entire
don't get my
music-
hopes up anymore.
My
Right,
entire
can't.
music
You can't.
career,
Yeah.
my entire music career has been built on this. As soon as everything is going well, it's all about to fall apart.
Mhm.
Like literally, that's basically my entire career. We finally get it all fucking like the engine is humming, and then we fucking throw a rod and we blow the engine because somebody forgot to put oil in it.
Yep.
Like that's a big metaphor, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a question for you before we dip into this. So this specific song, and this is, I guess, sort of a general question as a guitar player and songwriter, but you can answer it specifically to the song we're about to play. Is like when you're coming up with these riffs, when you're coming up with a song idea, where does your idea? This is the number one.
Was
thing
I
get
in
asked.
my living room in my underwear?
Where does
Yes.
the idea come from? Right? Like, where does the idea come from? So, like, I know it's such a vague fucking question, but I've told people sometimes I'm warming up and I accidentally play something that sounds cool. Sometimes I'm trying to learn a riff and I refuse to look up the tabs and I never get close, but I end up accidentally writing something else that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? It comes from a million places. So that's the same general question, but you can answer specifically for this song that we're about to play.
So
Like, where did the
that's-
idea come from?
that's-
How did you get
That's
inspired
literally
to write
what I
this song?
do. I like it's therapeutic to me. So I will take time out in a day or whatever, or maybe a week could go by. Maybe I don't play guitar, but sometimes I just zone out in front of the TV and I just start practicing, like doing like technical runs or something or whatever, and then just start noodling on a riff, and it's usually kind of bluesy or something. And that's how this main riff from this song evolved, was an unplugged electric guitar sitting on my couch. It was just do 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 boom, and that turned into just like vibing off of that riff, And I was like, okay, well, then I don't know. In my head, I'm always looking for like from a verse to a chorus to whatever. Like I write pretty traditionally in a pop sense, I guess.
So you don't necessarily start with just a random riff and you go, oh, that's a chorus, and then
No, I do.
build. Oh,
That-
you do.
That's kind of
Okay.
what I do. Yeah.
And so you
Like,
build around
It's
it.
like if I really find a riff that I personally like, I'm like, I will like work on it to try to build something around it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And whether that first riff was the chorus or the verse or whatever, that's maybe to be determined.
That
depending
makes
on-
sense because I do remember you pulling a full James Hetfield when we were doing that fucking weird Sioux Falls thing. And we were all partying hard in somebody's hotel room. I don't remember whose it was. And off in the fucking corner, is Ian with an acoustic guitar just sitting there playing, just chilling all by himself. Everyone else is being a total asshole except him. He's sitting on the just total James Hetfield, raging party going on, and he's just chilling on an acoustic guitar. And he's like not even just like strumming like fucking he's like shredding.
That's
he's
cool.
like throwing
Yeah.
down like I pulled a total James Hetfield. That's one of my favorite James Hetfield stories about like the personality type.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Like that's just where you find your inspiration.
I think
That's
like
your therapy.
honestly,
I could see that.
I
In
hate
knowing
to
you.
admit this, but you know, it's no secret.
You don't like people.
It's no secret we've all had a few of some demons here and there in the music industry. So there was like when Gingerjake did that first EP, and then a year and a half went by, 2 years went by. We were working on new material. And we finally put out a full length, and the majority of those riffs were written me drinking whiskey at like after work at like 2 or 3 in the morning after bar backing at Billy's on Grand, and I would sit around a poker table, and my buddies were playing poker and gambling, and the dude's house, my friend Felix. I don't know if you guys remember Felix, kid from the Turf Club, bartended there too.
I not personally, but
But at any rate,
I've heard of the name.
shit, I just gave up too much information about whereabouts and everything. But at any rate,
It was 30 years ago. You
right?
old fart.
I know, right? But at any rate, like that was
20
like
years ago.
sitting at a table like this, them playing poker, passing a whiskey bottle around, and I was just playing riffs, and I would like hear one that I would like, and I would record it to my phone, and then like show it to the band and be like, hey, let's try this. And then, Eric and Joe would put their 2 cents in. And that was a band that was like, we wrote pretty democratically, it was everybody was
You guys had a killer rhythm
putting
section too,
putting
man.
input. Yeah,
That's
for
huge.
sure. Those
That's
guys.
so fucking huge.
Last
Yeah.
question before we play this song: are there any riffs that ended up on this album that are recycled riffs that never made it into an older project, whether it be
Yes.
Gingerjake or
Yeah,
Future
yeah.
Leaders in
Touch-
the World?
like that
Just
Ginger.
keep those in the hopper.
Speaking of like recording for real or like writing a song for real, that track was actually so Touch 'Em All. There's 2 different versions of it on Chocolate Shotgun Sessions.
you can't.
I should
even
have
say
really
it.
thought about that one before I.
You can't even say it.
But
CSS.
yeah, CSS.
CSS. Sounds like a collection.
It sounds like NCIS New Orleans.
Sounds like a collection.
CSS
agency.
New
CSS
Orleans.
New Orleans.
Collection Secret Service.
No, but
It's like
shit,
it's like the secret version of the IRS.
right? Shit, what was the question again?
Recycled riffs.
Oh yeah, so Touch 'Em All. So that's kind of when Gingerjake and Skywine changed lineups. Neither one of us broke up per se,
Right.
and we kind of poached some people. And Derek and Brian from Skywine ended up in Gingerjake for a minute, and this song was tracked at Winterland Studios, totally live. We had
Todd Fitzgerald.
Yeah,
Winterland
yeah.
Studios? I'm trying to get him on the podcast too.
Yeah, give him a shout.
I've been talking to him. He's just busy.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a fucking busy guy.
but that
Shout out to Todd.
song was recorded literally live. Like you can speak for Brian and Derek, just spot on musicians,
Yep.
and
They
like
play their asses off.
so like that was how that track went down. So that was a recycled. Basically, it was an unreleased Gingerjake song,
And there's 2 different versions of that.
and the studio
on
versions of
album.
it, and it's not the original lineup of Gingerjake, but it was recorded live at Winterland.
And you can
Except
find
for
that
Amanda did some
in the
overdubs,
link in the
on
comments
vocals,
section.
but- yeah.
All right, let's play Joyride, which is the song you guys worked on together.
Mhm.
If I know how to work my media player now, it should be pretty quick.
Did your lights?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did. Because
Play.
that
Nice.
that outlet doesn't have a proper ground behind
Okay.
it. I got to rewire.
That's just
the,
how
the
heavy
whole
this
outlet.
song
I know.
is. It's just like it's like just in anticipation of a monster track.
What's way worse about it is I might have
That's
to
fucking good.
restart some shit because sometimes when that happens, we can't hear anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we'll see what happens here in a second.
That sure would have been awesome. Just
Right.
total fucking meltdown. Oh.
What's going on here? Oh, I got this thing stuck on. That's what's going on. There we go. Peanut, you need to quit barking. Yeah, dude, I dig it. It's pretty good.
Thanks, man.
I didn't like it at first, but like I don't like anything at first. You know, it's got to grow on me. I'm not even
That's cool.
joking, dude.
No worries.
I'm just being honest with you, brother. But yeah, I dig it, man. I really like that last part where you're doing the what do you call that? The sing-songy. There's no words.
Shit. I was kind of going a little Mars Volta on that right there.
What do they call that when there's no words but you're still singing?
I don't know.
I forget. There's a word for it.
Really?
There's an actual musical term for it. Yeah, you're just singing notes in a vowel expression. So sometimes it's an O, sometimes it's a ah, sometimes it's a.
I'm pretty sure that whole part was Svedka induced.
Nice.
So yeah.
Those are the best parts.
Yep, a little bit of vodka tonic probably had something to do with that, but it was it seemed like the right thing to do.
For me, back in the day, the perfect creative cocktail was just the right amount of ganj and Mountain Dew. It was like a blend between caffeine and the ganj, and I would find this like creative state, this flow state, this chemical thing where I could ride till like 6 a.m. writing, and I'd write half an album, like just riff after riff after riff, or I'd just like write an entire song. In like truly, like the whole thing would just get written in one night. Like everything just flowed. All I'm doing is following the canoe down the river that night.
Dude, I can't do anything baked. I cannot function with anything like that in my system. Tanqueray, vodka, I'm totally cool. I can't do challenge the world
baked.
But like, there's
just kidding.
Did I tell you the story about? Okay, remember Chip, who used to work at Ryan's? Yeah. So Chip went to go on road manage like Hatebreed and all that kind of stuff. Well, he gets off tour. Okay, do you remember Chip? Did you ever meet this guy? Just a
Chip
fucking
Heinrich.
Just a cartoon character of a human being, man. He's a fucking funny guy.
I can't place it.
I'm
gonna just say no. I'm gonna say no because I
too.
can't place the face with the
so
name.
Skywind has a show at Station 4, and it's 4:30 in the fucking afternoon. And God, I must have been, I want to say I was probably like 25 years old, 24, 25. Chip's like, dude, just got off the road. You got to come downstairs and let's smoke one. So I'm like, all right, sure, why not? And go down there and fucking. So I'm thinking, 4:30. We don't go on till fucking 11 o'clock at night. No big deal, I can do this. I can conquer this dragon. And nope. Whatever was in that shit, I kid you not. He must have had a lace with PCP or something like that, dude. At 11 o'clock at night, we're going on stage. I'm standing there on the edge, and I literally feel my body growing and like over the top of the crowd. Like I'm seeing people. Like, dude, I was hallucinating. It was the most fucked up show I've ever played in my life. And even after we got done, so I mean, just all this weird, crazy shit was going on. And then there's that.
You probably sounded great, though,
dude. That paranoia that kicked in. Well, it was. People love the fuck out of it, dude. For whatever reason, even my brother was like, "Dude, best show." Just like I have no idea. Like I don't remember the night. Nothing. I do remember getting off stage at about 1:30. And how it was like separated by that partition and stuff like that, and everybody goes over to the other side to sign shit, buy T-shirts, drink, whatever. And the first person I see is my brother, and he's like, "Dude, that was fucking awesome." I'm like, "Daryl, where's mom and dad?" "Oh, they're right back there." I'm like, "Good. I have to go downstairs right now. I don't feel well. Can you tell everybody I said hi? Thanks." And I was so out of my fucking mind that I was like, I will never ever do that again. Like, yeah, so to this day, like I've tried to play every show fucking stone sober. It's during the process where the booze and the shots keep going, and it's just like, I made an ass out of myself a few times doing that shit. But
yeah, I
think we've all been there.
I can have a beer. I can have one beer.
That was always my
before
thing
the show, and I can consume one during the show. But during the show, I get so fucking thirsty. I also slam a water and an entire soda. So like I go to the bar, I'm like, I need an ice water, I need a Coke or a Sprite, and I need a IPA. And all three of those are getting drank during the set.
Yeah.
Like during our 40-minute set, all three are gone by the time we're done with it. I can't get drunk though. I can't do anything. I can't do anything drunk. I'm a worthless drunk. I can't even podcast once I've had 7 beers.
I've unfortunately become a veteran now, where it's like when you do shows with Dan Dryden, like it's Jägermeister, like he was bass player for Hairball, and one of his things, what he would do is he'd have a bottle of Yag in one hand, apparently, and a fucking Red Bull in the other, fucking smash them together and literally drink them on stage like that.
So I heard like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I've heard that story. I never saw it personally,
but with vodka Red Bull.
we just did a show 4 weeks ago, up in Ramsey at Outpost Bar, which is one of our favorite places, and my buddy Jimmy owns it. But the thing about it was we used to have a Thursday night residency there. So what they would do is during our set, we'd kind of make fun of the like the Paul Stanley Folgers commercial. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
It's the fucking greatest thing ever. Just the best part of waking up, And so that became a thing where people would then bring up shots of Jägermeister, but it wasn't a shot of Jägermeister. It was a full fucking coffee mug of Jägermeister. So we're sure enough, fucking 4 weeks ago, fucking we're back playing Outpost. What are people doing? Bringing up coffee mugs of Jägermeister. No. So we're about 7 or 8 deep in the first set. And finally, Dan's like, fucking stop. Stop doing this. We're not going to be able to play the rest of the night if you guys keep bringing this shit up here. Because you don't want to be a dick and be like, nah, dude, that's all,
Right,
if they've already paid for it and they're handing it to you, it's like, oh, shit. So, yeah. Yeah. That can be bad.
I don't even think I did that when I was healthy.
Okay. So here's a trick. Okay. This is from Coyote Ugly. And I used to do this when I was a vocalist because any alcohol that hit my vocal cords when I was singing, and we talked about how bad I was. So this was like, oh my God, it would make it so much worse. But it also fucked up my screaming voice. Any booze, even just a little bit of beer, right? Yeah. Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Blown away by anybody that can. Stole this from that movie Coyote Ugly. You fucking have a beer, right? So when they hand you the shot, you take the shot and then you grab your beer like you're gonna chase it and you spit it into the fucking beer bottle. And that way nobody knows you didn't actually do the shot. Nobody's disrespected. Nobody's offended, and you can still stay sober and actually have a good performance.
That's a very creative way of doing that. I never thought about that.
From a fucking movie, bro. It's from a movie.
I don't know if in good conscience I can let that Jägermeister go to waste.
Just keep spitting it into your beer bottle until you have a full bottle of Jäger at the end of the night and slam that.
Yeah.
My goodness.
That would be disgusting.
Yeah.
It'd be like drinking your own fucking spittoon.
When I was
nauseous just thinking about it.
When I was a kid, my parents would have some friends over, or my dad was a drummer, so he had a bunch of bandmates over, or whatever, and they'd always have all their half-empty beer cans on the counter. So as kids, we're like, "Fuck yeah!" Left the beer on the counter. So the first thing we do is run up in the morning and stuff like that. Get out of bed and drink the rest of the fucking beer cans, which is totally gross. And what got me to stop doing that was one of them was a fucking ashtray. And so I made the big old chug-a-lug of like fucking 3 or 4 fucking dead cigarettes and just never did that again after that. I learned my lesson.
I've been there.
It was really fucking gross.
I've been there and done it.
God damn it.
Stop, dude, you're gonna make me puke.
Okay. He's our host is serious.
I remember my first time.
Dude, we gotta change the subject.
Okay.
Because all I'm thinking about is drinking fucking chew spit and tobacco.
Yeah. This is not part of this complete breakfast.
Talk about anything. Answer a fucking question. Do something. Change the subject.
Okay.
Please, I'm fucking vomit.
That's kind of amusing though. But I don't know, man. In terms of collaborating, we were talking earlier about it just being kind of like a longer process, making or just trying to collaborate or do one-offs, you know what I mean? And then trying to put it on a but I was just wondering, like, have you been collaborating outside of like you and I?
Here
and there.
It's I finally started writing again.
You're playing live though too, so that's time consuming.
Yeah. Well, mostly it's the cover bit thing that I'm doing right now.
My project too.
And it's Dude, we're gonna have words about this later. Okay, we've got things to discuss. However,
it's totally our fault.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm getting at right now. Like let's not go there. But
that's why it's so funny to me because I keep pretending it's him not doing anything, but it's totally our fault.
I just had a track released. Was a couple weeks ago with a band called Ghost of the Sun. They're out of Eau Claire, and it was Eric from who used to play with Blackfoot Diesel.
Okay, yeah,
Eau Claire. Remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's his new project, and they had a couple of other guys from No Loving Place.
Oh, cool.
And well, I should say one. Rick was in No Loving Place. Justin was in B for a little bit. Old drummer.
Okay, yeah.
Justin's a fucking monster drummer.
Yeah.
So they put together this kind of like instrumental track. And I did their last record, and they're an instrumental metal band.
Oh,
and
right on.
Super fucking cinematic, and just like everything about it. It's like it should be in Event Horizon Part 2 or something like that. It's pretty cool shit.
That's awesome.
And so they'd release some kind of like piano guitar version of this song, and they're like, try throwing some vocals over it and stuff like that. And we came up with a pretty cool killer
That's
track.
awesome.
So yeah, dude, that's really about the furthest I've gone right now. It's been all mixing and all shows pretty much for the most part. So. Yeah.
Well, and I got to give you credit too for mixing the track.
Oh, dude, thanks, man.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm not there yet.
Is that something you like
engineering-wise.
doing? Do you like mixing your
I would
own
rather
music?
mix a record than track a record any day.
Seriously?
Do you like
track? You'd rather
But do you
mix
like
it than
mixing
track
your own
it?
shit?
Yeah. Tracking is just
It's
editing
tedious.
is just like
Editing sucks too.
I
do
would
you
rather
like
go to the
tracking or
dentist
do you
than
like
editing.
mixing your own shit?
That's tough because I'm so
Did I do a decent job editing it?
it's not it's not even that. It's the thing that I always mix my voice too low. Always do. Just because I'm always I have this
that's why I told you at one point Wally and I were A/B, like he would mix, you always do a few recalls or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you're a good singer. I want to hear those backup vocals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I get super goofy about it because it's just like I don't want to come off as like
The
fucking Chad.
like harmony parts backing vocals?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like I don't want to come off as like Chad Kroger, where my voice needs to be super out front and hear me, and just like I'm super weird about that shit. Where I kind of like the song as a glow, but then I don't want my ego to get in the way of it and stuff like that too. Like I'm super just fucking weird about it. I can mix anybody else's shit just fine.
That's why I ask, because I'm always curious about that.
I always write with like a harmony guitar line and like
sure
as part of it. At some point, I just love harmonizing stuff.
Yeah.
And awesome. So when you add that in with vocals and the ability of a good singer to be able to do that, it's like it just like it creates this when you go to mix it creates this kind of like if like you're saying you want to blend it right. You don't want to like put too much emphasis on one thing, but like when it starts becoming orchestral at a certain point, And that's cool. It just becomes a big sound.
But yeah, I've always caught shit about that. Like, dude, bring them up. It's okay, Because then in mastering, it's going to get compressed anyways, and everything's going to get squashed, and it's going to, take on a little bit different order there.
I asked you because I can't mix my own shit. Because I'm so in it as a writer that I, no, I'm not. I can't. Like, I'll give it to Dalton. Like, I'll give it to anyone else to mix other than even my own demos. Like, I hate my own everything. I hate my own mixes.
If I've had a couple days, like
also not good at it.
I've come to find out that if I'm tracking something, trying to do a mix the same day I'm tracking is the worst thing ever, because then you've got this kind of like mental thing already built up of like, especially vocals, like the Stormbreaker shit that I'm working on right now. I just did a track for them that the vocals are so fucking hot.
Oh, even when it's not you as the performer.
Yeah. Where it's like,
okay.
God damn it, man! Like I should just know better. Take a day or something away from it. Just get your ears away from that shit, because that's all you're hearing. And so you're not really sure if it's sinking in or if it's too loud or whatnot, because you've just been dissecting that for the last 2-3 hours.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
it's
a head
back.
game.
Yeah,
that's
it's a total
super
head game.
interesting. So it's not just me, because that's what I do. You fucking finally.
No,
get
what
it
I was
done.
trying to say, it is just you. Just kidding.
But yeah, I mean, think about it though. You're excited. You finally put that last track down. You get a decent, even if it's just a demo.
Yeah.
Right. You're like, oh fucking, but it's like the song's done. Right. It still sounds kind of shitty, whatever. And then the first thing you want to do is mix it down and send it to somebody.
Yeah.
What do you think of this?
Yeah. I agree with you though. Like I don't like kudos to you being able to mix it, and be able to take that step back, because like I think that's why I deferred any of these mixes to mix engineers.
Yeah.
Like I spent so much time with it, and it was like demo-itis to a certain point. You know what I mean? Because the process took so long. So I've listened to these songs till I'm blue in the face. Like, and that's a weird thing in and of itself, because when you have that much time to sit there, that's what Pro Tools does for us. We're able to sit there and go, oh, when is this actually done? You know what I mean? Like,
No kidding.
I could have done this, or I could, and then you like hear weird shit when you're listening to it back, and you're like, that sounds like there could have been a harm. Should I have added that? You know what I mean? It's like hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah, and that's a thing that I go through with a lot of people that I work with too. Is like, and like, because I don't necessarily work on a clock. I understand there's a certain line you got to draw when somebody's going, okay, this is your fucking 10th pass on this, or you've said this many ideas. Like I was doing a record with this kid who was kind of a solo kind of pop punk kind of thing, and the record's done. It's completely mixed. Harmonies are good. The guitars are driving. Drums sound great. And so we're getting ready to just finalize everything and get it ready to send off to press. All right, well, I took the last, and mind you, we had been working on this thing for about 8 months. Yeah. Okay, 8 or 9 months. Well, I just got a couple things I want to try to change. Like a list of like fucking 75 things. And I'm like, I looked at them, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? I'm like, dude, I want to murder you. Like,
right?
I flat out said that to him.
Like, basically, I want to re-record, rewrite the
dude,
song.
It was so like, and I'm like, I will absolutely look at these with you, but I can pretty much guarantee 90% of the shit that you have on here is stuff that it's only things that you are going to hear that your listeners and your audience aren't going to give two shits about, because it's not going to ruin the identity of the song. These are not bad frequencies poking out, so it's going to make it unlistenable. You're just looking for the tiny. You've had too much time to examine the track.
And you're talking a little band's notes to you as a producer.
Yeah. And I was just like, you've got to be shitting me right now. Like, these sound great. Everybody that I've shown it to thinks it sounds fucking awesome, man. Like, sometimes you just got, there's a little bit of give and take there.
Yeah, you gotta just let it go at a certain point. Be like, like, did I think it was good?
I mean, you hired a professional to produce your record.
Its first iteration, was it good? Cool. Then just go.
Yeah. At some point in time, you need to listen to your producer as well. You hired him for a reason. If you're that fucking smart, then you'd have done it yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it is always good to have that outside ear too. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, sometimes we get so, I guess, into ourselves where, we've been sitting on these songs, we've been playing them live for X amount of months, and all of a sudden, Joe Schmo pops in from, wherever you hired him from, and it's just like, here's kind of what I hear and whatnot, and you have to kind of separate yourself from being that guy who's got so much conviction for what you've done to be like, okay, I understand that there's more to this that maybe we're actually all not hearing in this room together, where that guy actually knows what the fuck he's talking about, and like, so you have to kind of like, all right, nothing is final until it's actually recorded on tape or record or whatever the fuck you're doing, whatever medium. But and just having a little bit of being able to give a little bit, and just push that shit to the side. I
think that really is the biggest difference in my silly perception of the difference between what I would call a glorified engineer and a producer. Mm-hmm. Is a producer is going to pull you aside and be like, no, listen, this shit's better this way. Like, we got to fix this. The song's done. Mm-hmm. An engineer is just like, record.
Is that what you want?
You got like it? Okay, cool. And then they just mix it down for you.
Yeah.
I've recorded with a lot of engineers.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of engineers. I've only fucked with a couple what I would consider a real producer. And again, my point is when you hire a real producer, you're hiring a real producer for a reason, and you need to listen to him and you need to trust him, in my opinion, because they are also a professional.
Right.
Like, don't let them alienate your band and your sound, and you would never do that. And that's why your fucking schedule's full. That's why you're not begging for fucking acts to record, because you're obviously good at doing that. And I would say the majority, I can't think of a single band that hasn't said they've had a great experience with you as a producer.
I'm sure there's been some kind of,
I haven't heard them. And I'm not kissing your ass because you're on my podcast. I called you fat earlier. I'll talk shit off I want. No, for real. I can't think of anybody who's like, no, fuck that. I'll never work with Wally again. No, I've never heard anyone say that. Mm. Not once.
Oh, that's cool. That's
that's about as much as you can ask for, right?
But try to, I guess at the end of the day, it's like, we've talked about this before. It's like I'm trying to take a live snapshot of the group. and then embellish it and just make sure nothing sucks, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just, you know, so you know, I'm trying to make myself more or less, I guess, when I'm hired for that position, to become that other member of the group or whatever, and just to try to be on their level and try to speak their language and stuff like that. If we need to talk or, you know, no, it's got to be, you know, something, whatever, you know, and speak the musical language or the, you know, because it is a language. It's within itself when you're working with all these bands and stuff like that. You're trying to adapt to their personalities and, you know it might ruffle somebody's feathers a little bit, or just, you know, it's mostly, it's funny because, like, I think when you're producing a record with a group, maybe only like 10-15% is really music. The rest of it is psychology. And
it's
just
like coaching.
Yeah. Because I mean, you really do, man. You know, we've all been in moments, probably in studio and stuff like that, or whatever, or in shows where you're meeting somebody for the first time, and you're just like, there's nothing you can do to break a certain barrier or something like that. Like Patrick from 93X, for whatever fucking reason, I could never have a good interview with this guy.
Really?
We just couldn't talk. I don't know what it was. Like, it was just awkward, and it was like, even though I think we both had good intentions, we don't not like each other.
Right.
But it was just like, no matter what I say, like, you just don't jive with what I say, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I have definitely felt that way with people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so there's no ill will here.
No.
But like, there's just something awkward about our conversation permanently.
Yeah.
Like, and you have great, and I'm just pointing at you because you happen to be sitting across, hypothetically. Like, I see you have great conversations with people. I have great conversations. But for some reason, when you and I get into fucking awkward.
Yeah.
It
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That's
Like, it's just,
I totally feel that, dude.
you know what I'm saying?
You make me feel so much less alone in the world. Wally.
You know, and I
just
think
one right after the other. I'm like, I'm not alone.
and I think I'm kind of a weird dude too. You know, I think I'm kind of I don't know. I'm always the guy who just, I was never the big partier, or never like the, you know, so all my friends and bandmates were all doing that kind of shit. I was just kind of just different. I'm just a different guy. And I'm okay with that. I'm accepting of it. So when I get in to do a record with people and stuff, like, I want to figure out where their dynamics are and stuff like that, and where I can emphasize on that, just not only just as musically, but just personally. You know, just because I want to be able to talk to you about things, or, you know, if it's football, if it's you know, politics, or if it's fucking whatever. It could be anything. God, I don't care. Trees, whatever. It doesn't matter. You know, like, I want to be able to try to relate with these guys.
Those things you just,
you know, but just, you know, there is a certain kind of camaraderie that comes with it too. You know, it's just like, you just don't want to just show up in a room. All right, fucking, it's 11 o'clock. Let's get some drums done. Blah 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 blah. Like, you're not really finding out the dynamic of people and figuring out why they wrote these songs this way, or what is making them tick to write lyrics this way, or why did you know, phrase your guitar line like that. And so they get, like, there's certain little things that, like, I've been able to identify, like, you know, in bands like VIA or Stormbreaker or whoever, you know, it's just like, there's certain dynamics to each of their personalities that I know exactly what they're going to play even before they've played it, or what's going to come next vocally even before they fucking sing it, or drum, whatever. It doesn't matter. You know, it's like, there's certain things that just make us, within our personalities, become the musicians that we are, and like the things that we like. And so that's kind of where I'm talking about, like, the psychology part of it is, like, you know, just, you got to kind of figure out what it is about these people that makes their engine move.
Now, is that something that came naturally to you, or is that a skill that you had to learn and then eventually hone? Like, is that something that was explained and taught, or is that something that you naturally had and then kind of crafted it along the way?
Atomic K, Carl Deemer.
Yeah.
Yep. You guys did some stuff with Carl, right? Too. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And he kind of put that bug in my brain a little bit about just the psychology aspect of it. Because he deals with a lot of different artists and stuff too. And I worked for him for a little bit, being like not necessarily an intern, but I was more of a graphics guy and all that kind of stuff, and answering phones and all that bullshit in the early 2000s. But just listening to him just try to work with people. And Carl's a little bit of an awkward guy himself.
He's quiet, yeah.
He's and he's not, but when you really get to know him, he's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah,
he can be a real funny and fun dude and all that stuff. So it's just, I always found it just kind of interesting, just seeing all these different acts, and some were just had no business being in that room whatsoever. But I understand it's a paycheck. That's how he lives, and that's what he's trying to do.
Right.
Like,
that's me on vocals, by the way.
Dude,
no business being in that room.
You should have heard this guy. He had a Playboy Playmate come in. Okay, and she wanted to. Her manager wanted her to be a pop star. Okay, this woman could not fucking sing her way I mean, it was so bad. It was
like I heard
it
about
was
this.
so bad. And like, so what Carl did was kind of the best thing that he could do was not just auto-tune it, but auto-tune the fuck out of it and make it
That's
sound
what I
like
have to do to my voice.
We got a dead monitor here.
No, we're fine.
We're fine. Okay, cool. So Carl literally over auto-tuned everything and made it sound like a palatable pop song.
And that's how we invented the T-Pain sound.
And dude, that literally that's what he had to do. And of course, she gets out of the Volca booth or gets done doing her thing. And great job. And I'm in the next room going, oh my God, what the fuck are you gonna do to fix this thing? This is so bad, dude. And he's just like, here we go, And so he auto tunes the shit out of it. And they come back the following week or whatnot. And I think it was she's all about it. She thinks it's the fucking greatest thing ever. And manager guy was like, this is not what she sounds like. And Carl's like, I know. But how do you? It's like, man,
like, hey, manager, dude, you're tone deaf too.
Yeah.
You're both tone deaf.
Yeah.
Because you brought her to me thinking she sounds good.
Right. So he had
there was a future in this.
So I don't know what the end result was after that. I never really asked him.
Oh, I can tell you. There wasn't one. But that was it.
Yeah, probably. But still, he had to, try to just play the game and just make them feel comfortable, make them feel good about what they were doing and all that stuff, and just being encouraging and stuff. Because fucking vocalists are weird and they get fragile about everything and stuff. And dude, you keep hitting that line sharp. We got to get it till it's right. We got to make sure it's kick ass. So you got to kind of keep playing them like. It's all right, man.
Dude, I couldn't hit this note in the studio one time, and Ian Combs, I can't remember if he played it on keyboard or if he went and played it out on guitar, but he had to pre-record it, the melody I was trying to hit, because I was trying to hit a harmony.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hit the main note fine,
Mm-hmm.
and it was an upper end harmony, not a lower end, and he had to play that shit, record it to the song, play it, and then I hit it fine, but I couldn't hit that pitch without hearing that pitch. But that's to me, that's a producer.
Yep.
He figured out a way to get me there.
Right.
He didn't just be like, okay, just do what you can. I'll auto-tune it, I guess. He's like, no, we're getting you here.
But it's good to get out of your comfort zone like that.
Fuck
sometimes.
yeah, it was, dude. I learned so much
Yeah.
about recording in one album with that dude. It was ridiculous, dude. And I didn't really go to school for production. I went to a creative arts school where I took a bunch of production classes. So it was hilarious because I remember getting in the room with dudes and I'd be like, what are you talking about, dude? Just let me punch in and fix that one little thing. And they're like, what do you mean punch in? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? What do you mean? What do I mean? Like, and then Ian was the exact opposite. He was running, Ian Combs, right? Yeah, dude was running circles around me. He's like, bah, 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 bah. It was so fast. I was like, oh, this is what a real producer's like.
Yeah.
That's probably the best actual producer I've actually recorded with. I can't wait to do our record, dude. You just got to let me know what we're missing, because I know there's a disconnect between what I've recorded and where that is in those Dropbox files.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
But there is some shit. There is some workable shit in there. But I want to get back to the Chocolate Shotgun sessions. First of all, we got a question. Where the fuck did that name come from? That's not what the question was. That's how I'm saying it.
I think that was Derek and I being drunk in the French Quarter after the sessions were over. We were talking about, like, I think Derek actually came up with it, to be honest. So from the recesses of his
so you're not even sure what it
brain
means?
Yeah, no, I
love it.
I just kind of liked it.
That makes it
like,
better.
Yeah, I just kind of liked it.
What's that name mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, chocolate shot. I mean, I tried to put it into terms, I guess, as I thought about it, and I'm like, and it kind of made more sense as
sounds like explosive diarrhea.
What do you say we call the Mooger Fooger?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's do it.
You guys should be able to hear this, and if you yell loud enough, just don't yell into your mic. You guys should be able to hear this.
Okay. See ya now.
What's happening?
Sup, slut?
How's it going?
Are you watching the podcast?
I am not right now. Do you want me to put it on?
No, don't do that.
I'm laying in bed.
Are you naked?
Well, I can be. I can be if necessary. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. How are you doing, dude?
You know, I'm good. I'm a little bummed out that I miss you guys today, but wanted to do the right thing and at least kind of, pass down the information through the chain of all y'all.
Yeah, man. No, I appreciate it. For sure. My pops appreciates it. So that's actually kind of a funny thing. You guys have both met my pops because when we did Greg's vocal session with Wally for probably this next song we play at some point, my dad dropped me off and came in and saw the studio and said hello and so.
Yep, that is cool.
He's
totally. So, I mean, everyone feels fine. We feel fine. A little bit lazy, but the close proximity to people, you never know what could happen. So,
yeah, man.
Yeah, totally. What you guys been talking about?
What haven't we talked about?
I was gonna say mostly you, Greg, but
it's easier to list what we haven't talked about. We haven't talked about China, Somalia, or the AIDS or coronavirus. That's it. Everything else we've hit.
Everything else you've touched base on?
Yep.
Okay.
Including. No, you know what? That's too far. I'm not crossing that line.
What line is that?
Your mom.
Let's cross it. Oh, her? That old bitch. Everybody knows about her.
Can we three-way this? Can we get her in?
Well, we've three-wayed her.
Oh, God. So. Oh, jeez.
It'll take her a few hours, and she's 80, too. She's experienced, so.
When I get back, we'll keep that
all right. So, I don't know, Greg, we've talked about, just kind of like the process of collaborating and how it can be a beautiful thing or a pain in the ass. Like, I don't know, how did you feel about the whole collaboration process? Doing it, I guess we did it partially, kind of remotely, and then we were just saying, we tracked it at Wally's studio. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was great. I mean, we've all known each other for a long time, and it's always one of those things to where you want to work with people that you've known for a long time that you have a lot of respect for. We played a bunch of shows together. And then, we're buddies, and this came up, and, through the idea out there, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. And then, it worked out to where we did the first run of tracks with Steve from Wolf Council.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Steve Williams.
Yeah, totally. Another super cool dude. And then, you had some ideas. We collaborated on the vocal structure and arrangement, and simplified it, and then went into Wally, and it was like, okay, well, this is perfect, because
so we actually did do some like kind of traditional pre-production on it, I guess.
Yep. And so once we kind of hammered down the, I love the track that we did, and I love the arrangement of it, because I don't think I've ever written a vocal part to that specific time signature before.
Dude, that's a funny story, because I think I told you this when Sterling Winfield was mixing it. He either called me or he texted me, and he's like, "Dude, I do have to ask you, what in the hell time signature is this track in?"
Yeah.
And I was like, he's like, "Is it 11/8?" And I'm like, "I'm pretty sure it's 11/8." Yeah. You're like, he counted it out, and he figured out it was like a phrase of 5 and then 6, and it becomes 11/8. Did I do my math right there?
Yeah.
And it's weird because it's like chopped. It's kind of like, but it still was able to swing somehow.
Yeah, Greg, you did a really good job. Phrasing that over that. I don't know how. I'm listening to it myself. I'm like, how the fuck is he going to pull this one off? And you killed it, man. It was fucking awesome.
No, that's awesome. And you know what helped a lot was when Ian was like, and Steve was saying it too, because as I'm getting older, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be able to fucking yell like this forever, scream like this forever. Even there's a technique to it, right? You make it easier on yourself. So it's all breathing. But as you get older, it's like, Wally, the drill. As you get older, your voice changes.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So I can't do the same stuff that I was doing when I was 24 or whatever. There's just a change for me in the vocal tone or whatever. And So I'm like, okay, so the initial approach was to do something a little bit more like Muse, which I liked, but it didn't flow. And Eno was just like, what if you just hung out in that heavy part for the verse? I'm like, okay, well, we can do that. And really didn't have to change the lyrics to it. And it kind of gave it a nice cohesive flow to it, to where it was like, I've always, when it comes to odd time signature stuff, you know, that when people have written in the past, I've always kind of looked at it, okay, well, it's the vocal's job to not make it sound like an odd time signature, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it is to make it sound like you can get to a hook, or there are parts where there's hooks without thinking like, holy fuck, what planet are we on, type of thing.
Yeah.
And so it all worked out great. And, you know, going in and tracking with Wally, I think it only helps that the three of us have known each other for as long as we have.
Totally.
You know?
Comfort zone.
So,
but yeah, I think that's like one of the hardest things to do is, like you said, on your vocal part, like, how can you make an odd time still feel like it comes back to a one? So, so somebody could like follow it, nod their head to it, and not have to like think, what planet am I on? Like you said. So yeah, you knocked it out. You know.
Yeah. It was super fun. You know, I like it a lot, and I like how we were able to come back to that who am I part at the end, you know, and it's still in the odd time signature, but it would give, if anyone ever plays to a live room again, you know, where somebody, you know, where people can get up or whatever. So, I mean, I could have been happier, and I'm super honored to be a part of it. It's fucking awesome.
Right
it's
on,
fucking
man.
awesome.
Well, I got to thank you, man. You know,
Greg, you're a great interviewer. You should do this for a living, this whole musician thing. You're great at doing these interviews.
There'd be a segment of people who would like that, and then there'd be a segment of people who wouldn't like that. That's how that one would go. So,
well,
but
a fuck 'em a day keeps the assholes away.
right. Well, it's just like now too, dude. I mean, when I was on with you before, Jared, it's like it never fails, dude. You get up on the book and you get up wherever, and it's like people are just looking to fight with people about something. I don't get it. I'm just like, holy fuck, man. So I guess you want to pour gas on a fire, I'm okay to do that sometimes.
What?
Twitter's worse, bro.
It's like pro wrestling, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's like pro wrestling. It's all entertainment. I mean, fuck, you know.
Dude, I'll be your Gorilla Monsoon any day.
Yeah, yep. It's perfect.
Well, listen, dude, we're about to queue up your song. We're gonna play your song from the Chocolate Shotgun Sessions. I can't fucking say that.
I can't either.
Can you say it 3 times fast?
The Chocolate Shotgun Sessions, the Chocolate Shotgun Sessions, the Chocolate Shotgun Sessions.
You fucked it up the very first time.
You got to build up enough momentum.
All right. Is there any particular part, as a songwriter, as a vocalist, is there any particular part of this song that really like stuck out to you? That's your personal favorite part?
If I had to think about it, it would probably be, you know, I like how we created a hook out of it, but what my favorite part of it probably is after there's like a double guitar solo or a build into a guitar solo, however, you know, many bars that is, and then when it collapses back down with the sub bass into the end, back into the hook. That's what I like. I like how we end with the hook and how there's a kind of a crowd get up moment before it. Yep, that would be it.
I think I agree, honestly. Yeah.
Cool, dude. All right, well, man, we miss you. We wish you were here, but I appreciate you taking the call and hanging out with us for like, I don't know, what, 10 minutes? Seems like?
Yeah, something like that.
That was solid, dude.
Yeah.
That was good.
Love you, Moog. Thank you, dude.
Man. That was good. These phone things are always tough because I got to give up my mic and I got to put it up to the phone because I don't have the technical know-how to actually do it correctly because I'm a moron. But other than that, dude, yeah, you're gonna have to come back on again soon, man. We miss you.
Yeah, hey, I miss you guys too, man, and love you guys very much. Ian, while you're in town, we'll get some cocktails or whatever, grab some lunch. Wally, we got to hang out soon.
Yeah, big time.
You know, just to kick it and just catch up or whatever.
Absolutely.
And Jared, we'll be talking soon.
Absolutely, brother. We love you, man.
All right, much love, guys.
All right,
take care, dude.
All right, ladies.
All right, so let me turn my microphone back down. Jesus Christ.
Jeez.
Jesus Christ.
Rebels.
Jesus Christ. Speaking of South Park, did you guys watch the
Vaccination special?
Yes.
I did not see it. Is it awesome?
It's amazing.
Yes.
It's
The pandemic special was
dude,
quite good as
they're
well.
like are they even doing regular seasons?
I don't know.
I don't think so. They're just doing these specials now.
Yeah.
And they're just like, you know what? We're just going to do them rare and hit grand slams every time.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing.
Instead of just home runs, they're just like grand slams now.
I heard they're just bored of it. Like they're like, we just want to be done with this. We've been doing this for over fucking 20 years.
Dude, the last 2 seasons
And
they
so-
ran a hashtag cancel South Park.
Yeah. So I think
Their
they're
own
actually
hashtag.
they're actually trying to get themselves fucking off, because I heard that they're just like, please just let's stop doing this, but they're under contract, so they've got to keep doing X amount of episodes a year and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of what's going on. So they're just gonna go for the fucking balls every time.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're,
See how
they're
offensive,
not
how
holding
far
back.
can we push it?
They
Yeah.
are trying to get canceled, and
Yeah.
even fucking Gen Z's like, nah, South Park's cool. They're like, God damn it, they just want out. All right,
That's pretty
all right. So
hilarious.
Jesus Christ, we're gonna play the song. that was
Jared Slave.
Hey, no. Oh, Jesus Christ, you guys.
You're officially,
Ease up.
ladies and gentlemen, you're officially watching the Jared Slave Extravaganza.
Jared, stop it, you guys. Stop being so extravagant. One promo. I don't know why. One of my ad reads, I was like, hey, everyone, welcome to the Jared Singer Extravaganza. I'm your host, Jared Stinger, and I'm extravagant as fuck. I don't plan those. Like,
Yeah.
I have a couple short reads, and then everything's improv from top to bottom. And in between, I like the actual sentences I read are very short. I have no idea where that came from, but I just kept rolling with it and left it. I was like, fuck. I told you about that earlier.
Yeah,
I'm like, this ad read, I fucked every ad read up like halfway through, and I was like, take it from the top, and just kept going. I didn't even start over. All right, guys, here we go. So, Jesus Christ, what's the name of this song?
Say You Want Me Dead.
Say You Want Me Dead by the Chocolate Fucking Pheasants.
Say that 3 times fast.
No. All right, guys, here we go. We're having fun if you can't tell.
Did you do a hard press on these?
I might. I haven't yet.
I know. I was. When I did my last record too. I'm like, does it make any sense?
I was like leaning towards vinyl, and then I'm like, could I even sell that many to make it worth it?
Yeah, and that
$2,500 for vinyl.
Hmm.
I'm just like,
You guys might hear this cue back up. Just try to ignore it.
all right.
Okay.
They won't hear it, but I got to replace one of these, so it's going to get a little.
Are we still live?
Yeah, we're live.
So maybe while you're doing that, so you're gonna play the first track?
Yeah, actually, you know what I can do? Hold on.
If it's the first track, Humbled Crown.
Yep.
That's Adam Pierce from.
He was on.
So he was on The Voice.
He was on The Voice.
He's on The Voice.
I'm sorry,
like
no,
season
I can't
13,
stop now.
I think.
You guys got me started. Now I can't stop, dude.
No, but Adam's awesome, man. He's like you all. He's like
I really like
singer
this track.
songwriter.
Mhm.
I don't know if you ever saw him on The Voice. He's got a voice.
Yeah.
I think he flip flopped, but I think he was with Adam Levine on his coach side or whatever. But no, great voice. He can do. He's got a bitchin' Zeppelin cover band.
Oh, really?
In New Orleans, yeah, they just kill it.
That's pretty cool.
So he can do that. You'll hear his voice, but it's kind of AC/DC-ish, kind of Led Zeppelin. He's got that 70s rock vibe to him, but for whatever reason, this is a little bit heavier song, but it's got a little bit of a Thin Lizzy vibe to it too.
Oh, I like that.
But he's got a great voice and he works hard. Humbled Crown. Oh, I just saw it. Yep. Go back up, I think.
How slow this shit is. I'm getting everything I can.
There it is.
Every ounce
Your
of juice.
cursor's right over it. Yep.
Wasn't even highlighted. I'm taking every ounce of juice I can get out of this poor Mac computer to do this whole podcast. I am like really pushing it to the brink. All right.
I'm getting to the point where I can barely read that because like I'm finally getting to the point where I need glasses. Like,
Yep.
I was so prepared for Moog to come in with his sunglasses. I even like went out of my way to get prescription sunglasses.
here we go. You know, for Moog.
Perfect.
Hold on.
Dude, I'm absolutely gonna be left out of this.
No, you're not.
He's got a spare pair.
These are really nice. Really nice. I bought these for my groomsmen gifts for my wedding.
Okay.
And then
Nice.
of course I got myself a pair because they're the shit.
Dude, there are no sunglasses. I got such a fucking big head that.
There we go. This is the business.
You look good.
It's fucking Tim Tebow.
You look good, dude. There we go. There we go. For the Mooger Fooger. There we go. This is for you, buddy. We're all in shades now.
Yeah.
I'm telling
Yeah,
you, if you
baby.
guys wear glasses, prescription sunglasses, like get actual sunglasses, like
I was gonna get the transitions if I ever
dude,
needed them.
I thought about doing that, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get the glasses I like, and then I'm gonna get sunglasses instead of trying to get one pair of glasses that work as both.
Need the flips.
So they're
I tried that back in the day too. That was a pain in the ass. They'd fall off. They'd get broken.
That always reminds me of like Ed Rooney on fucking Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where he turns around, just flips them up. Like
They made
fucking
some
awesome.
cooler ones for a while that would like stretch from the center. And
Oh,
you'd stretch them out and set them on and let them go, and they'd attach from the sides with a spring in the middle.
I think
And
I
you
know what
really
you're talking
could barely see them.
Yeah.
They looked way, and you'd never flipped them up. But again, once you decided you didn't want to wear them, you
Where
took
you-
them off, and
where you
you
put
couldn't
'em?
put them anywhere. So you'd try to hang them on your shirt.
Yeah.
They'd fall off. You'd step on them.
Did you guys ever see that infomercial of the sunglasses where they had like mirrors on the insides of them right here, so you could see who's falling behind
Who's
you?
Oh, get the
behind you?
fuck
See that
out of
shit?
here.
I know.
What are those for? Prison?
I know exactly. And for you real insecure motherfuckers, like who's following me? It's fucking-
There's two markets for that. Women and prisoners.
prison.
right? Exactly. Yep.
Those are the only two
and
people
his-
or spies that
Oh.
are constantly worried about being tracked or raped. Those are the only. That's the only purpose
Especially
for
for the unfortunate gentleman who might have gotten a tramp stamp accidentally.
Right.
There's a couple of them out there.
That's
Dude,
fucking great.
I did a podcast that reminds me. I did a podcast with Travis Doherty. Used to just be a big fan of all of us and hang out in the scene. We all got to become friends with him. You guys probably know him and have met him and hung out with him at parties and shit. And he's an amazing tattoo artist. Like, he's so fucking good, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best I've seen literally in this entire area, like the entire Midwest. And we're gonna work out this promo thing where I'm gonna get my first tattoos. And I'm gonna get 2 very realistic gray and white nipples, one on each butt cheek. And then Wheeler and I are gonna run around downtown Minneapolis, and we're gonna wait till the weather's a little better, and I'm just gonna randomly moon people. And the goal is to see the looks on dudes' faces and watch them get equally aroused and disgusted with themselves all at the same time.
I was wondering what your end game was going to be with this. Like,
yeah.
Makes sense.
Plus, they will also just be hilarious tattoos. At any party, I can moon my friends, and everyone's gonna laugh. Name a better first tattoo.
Well, Mike Lanier, my old keyboard player for Skywind, he was going to get a. Well, the deal is that I forget exactly what the fucking thing was, but his first tattoo, I think he wanted to get. No, it was the other way around. Derek was going to get another tattoo. Okay. And so Mike was going to pay for it, but it had to be a picture of Mike Lanier on his fucking leg. So he was going to get like it was super weird. Like Mike had like
I'll pay for it, but it's got to be of me.
That's just it. And Mike's like, dude, I'll absolutely pay for it. And Derek's like, hell yeah, those two are like best friends or whatnot. But which it looked really weird and really uncomfortable just on his leg.
Would you get a realistic portrait of me on your ass if I paid for it?
I don't have a tattoo on my body, so no.
No. That's not your first one.
Yep.
You ever see those fucking Facebook things where it's like your third has to get a matching tattoo with you? I seen one of those, and that fucking I did it, and it was Greg Chilton.
Yeah,
and it was matching butt tattoo, and I already have this idea. I was like, Greg, you're so fucked. You're getting matching butt nipple tattoos with me.
Oh, jeez.
Imagine Greg Chilton on stage performing in the middle of a show, and then he just turns around and moons you, and he's got 2 extremely realistic nipples.
Now that's a Decker move. That's not a Chilton move. That's a Decker move.
It could be a Chilton move. We don't know that. Let's not prejudge him.
Mr. Decker.
I don't know.
Oh, it's fucking funny.
Yeah.
What time is it? We're doing pretty good on time. We got a little bit more time. I can't see that thing. 3:57. Oh shit! You want to wrap this up soon? Because you wanted to try to wrap it up right around 4, right?
Yeah, we're good. A few more minutes, whatever. What you got, Wally?
We got another song to play too.
Nothing.
So.
Yeah.
Why don't you throw on the song?
Yeah, throw on the song.
Now I got to figure out which one I loaded it into.
Yeah, boy.
It's no big deal. We'll get there, guys. It's one of these. Is that it?
That's me again.
Yep, that's Wally.
So it must be this one.
Yep.
See, that's why I preload them.
It doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, point is that I didn't fucking sleep last night. That's the only point I was trying to make. I've been fucking up all night, dude.
For the record, I did
like that song. You did sleep last night? Last time you were on, we talked about your insomnia. How's that going?
No, it's going fucking great now. I don't know if it was
so
just
what
a stress
was the cure?
thing or...
We talked about a lot of possibilities.
I don't know, man. Yeah, there was a lot of possibilities and stuff. I think it's just the fact that I've actually just been playing. You know, because I don't play. I move gear. So let's make sure we know what we're talking about here. I move gear for about an hour, 2 hours every day, or actually no more than 3 hours, and just set up shit and road cases and all that kind of stuff because that's what we do when you're a 2-man cover band. We literally have this mountain setup of just shit. And so so I'm just being physically active again and stuff. And it's
good
just
for you, man.
And I think that's. You know, when you're sitting around and you're just getting fat in a fucking studio chair.
I'm happy for you, though, dude. I was worried about you last time we talked.
I was losing my mind.
We had a really intimate fucking podcast. Like I got to give you a lot of respect for that. It takes a lot of balls to get vulnerable like that on a podcast, and like you were, like, we talked about it too. I'm super happy that it's fucking turned around for you, man, because that shit gets scary, dude. You don't get the right amount of sleep. You can have heart attacks. You can have strokes.
Yeah.
That shit'll fucking literally ruin your life.
I've been fortunate. I don't think I've ever had hardcore insomnia, man. I can imagine.
Ian,
I can imagine.
Do me a favor, brother.
Yeah.
Plug your record again. Where can people find it? Go to
Beat Devil Music.
There you go.
Album's called Chocolate Shotgun Sessions.
Links are in the description.
Links
by the way.
are in the description. So I mean, that's where you're gonna be able to get the music. And if you want to actually see my half-assed website, you can get those links from there.
Yeah,
so,
they're all in there,
yeah.
Dude. You should just talk to Scott. Talk to Scott Werner. He sponsors the podcast.
Okay.
You can even use my promo code and get 10% off, dude. He'll fucking tighten that shit up.
Okay.
It'll be fucking dope, bro.
Right on.
He did my website. I'll show you when we leave.
Cool.
It's not finished 100%, but when you see it, you'll be like, oh, yeah. That's dope. He'll work with you too. Like, he's got custom packages he'll build for like just what you need. He's not going to try to be like, okay, it's $18,000.
Right.
I don't fucking need 18 grand worth of work, bitch. Yeah. Like, he's awesome, dude. And you'll fucking score a little discount on that.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, so Chocolate Shotgun Sessions. All the links are in the description. Wally, you got anything to plug that you got coming up? Can you say anything about the Stormbreaker stuff you were working on last time we talked?
Yeah, well, we're about. The record's pretty much done. We're still doing vocals on it, but instrumentally, it's a fucking powerhouse, man. We're having a lot of fun doing it.
I'm going to see him Friday night.
That's awesome.
Yes, you are.
I'm going to that A440 Fest thing.
Yeah.
That
you
worked
guys
out.
know Steve Kahn at A440? I think he's like, it does marketing, maybe some sales stuff for him. But
I don't know him. I know Tony over there. That's
okay.
Yeah.
Steve's a good guy.
I don't know.
He actually used to sell Volkswagens. I bought a car from him once.
Oh shit.
And
that's awesome.
Like, he just was like, got fed up with being a car salesman, and he was a musician too. That's kind of how we hit it off when I bought a car from him. And now he works with A440. So
probably do know who he is. And I'm fucking terrible with names.
It's tough, dude. I mean, we've been doing this for so long. How are you going to keep them all straight?
It's the worst.
All right, slap in your last minute questions. If you got anything, we got like 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Slap them in now.
I guess I should say too, the pre-sale for Chocolate Shotgun Sessions. Chocolate Shotgun Sessions. There, that was 3 times.
There you go.
Nice, you did it.
I did it. No, pre-sale April 2nd. You can get it on Bandcamp or iTunes, and then basically that gets you a access to a first track that was a cover song, Corrosion of Conformity, from back in like 92 or 94, I think. Track off of Deliverance, called Clean My Wounds. You get that one. And then a week later, the record comes out, and you can stream it or do whatever. So I appreciate anybody's support.
Shout out to my guitar player, Dalton, who's been watching. He says this shit slaps, and all bangers. Every single song we played, he said, were bangers.
Damn, thanks, Dalton.
Those are high compliments.
Hell yeah, thank you.
That man is a very talented musician. We've all known him for years. That motherfucker. He joined my project, man, and I was like, okay, I'm trying to go this direction. He was like, all right. And he slapped that shit down. I was like, oh, man, I sound like a real band all of a sudden. Like, I went from, like, my idea to, like, a band. Like that.
Right.
And then Jeremy jumped on vocals. You've worked with Jeremy 1,000 times. Fucking.
Yep.
All right, guys. Make sure that you hit up all the pre-subs. By the way, how does the iTunes thing work if I'm, like, an iTunes subscriber? Can I follow you?
I
if
believe
I follow
so.
those
yeah,
links
I think it's
and just follow it, and then I'll just be ready to download it.
I'm pretty
all that's
sure.
still the same.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Dope.
And like I got my Instagram is just Beat Devil Music. Facebook is just Beat Devil Music, so I'm always posting stuff just like everybody else, and you can find it there. Beat Devil Music.
Sweet.
Basically, look that up.
Sick, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I don't see any last minute questions coming in, so make sure you guys like and subscribe and all that jazz. You guys know the fucking drill. You guys watch YouTube. I don't need to lecture you on what to do. But one sneaky little thing is go to our Patreon. We're trying to go to the next level, and we need some financial support from you guys. You can do it for fucking literally $3 a month. Go to Jared Singer Live at Patreon, $3 a month. We're going down to Texas to interview some football players. We're trying to get out to LA to interview a bunch of big time bands. Help us out. We can't do it on our own. So love you guys.
Thanks for having me,
subscribe,
dude. Thanks
share.
for having us.
This was an honor, man. Next time you're in town, we got to do this again. This was an absolute fucking blast. And next time, maybe Greg doesn't fucking get AIDS.
Right?
The AIDS.
I'm just kidding. He doesn't have AIDS. It's just cancer. Kidding. He doesn't have any of those things. All right. Love you guys. We're out.